It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. Now don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. Every day, everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning and happy Friday. It is a beautiful day in paradise. I see nothing but blue skies and sunshine ahead. How about that, folks? Everybody doing good for an amazing, gorgeous, beautiful Friday morning? I hope so, honey child. I'm doing fantastic. I love a good Friday. You know what? I'm thankful every day. Listen to me. You get up in the morning, you're feeling pretty good, pretty spry. You got a little pep in your step, as them old people would say. You good to go? Yep. Because let me assure you, you are fortunate. There's so many people this morning that haven't made it. I'm going to talk about a few of those. So sad. So, I appreciate what we've got. Yeah. Beautiful life. Beautiful people, beautiful country. And so we push forward with intention, positivity, and hard work. Yes, most certainly hard work matters. Okay. Can I do a few shout outs this morning to people that I've been thinking about? We have friends near and dear that sometimes we don't get to speak to on a regular basis because everybody's busy and living their most amazing lives. Let me do a shout out to Deborah Ebanks this morning. She's all the way in Thailand. So she's a Caymanian who has moved abroad and doing big things in Thailand for herself. So hello, Debs. How are you? Happy Friday. And now it's on my bucket list to go and visit her in Thailand. I heard she's been having a lot of visitors, so I'm going to give her a while to get settled in. But she's been doing amazing things, folks. I think it's so beautiful when Caymanians are like, okay, I'm going to go on the other side of the pond. I'm going to try something different and outside of my comfort zone, because it's not easy. You know, most of you stay here your entire lives and you just complain about foreigners coming here. And I often have thought to myself, I wonder how we would survive in somebody else's country. Try it on for good measure. But she's done it. She's in Thailand. Yeah, we got a few people in that part of the world, so hope that they're doing well. Let's go ahead and give a big shout out to David Ebanks this morning. Good morning, David, from Prodigy Jewelers. He's a hardcore West Bay. I almost said like myself. I mean, ancestrally from West Bay, but I guess I shouldn't say I'm a Bay exactly. We can't really separate ourselves from one district to the next, right? Cayman's too small. So big shout out to David. He is doing amazing things. And if I had $1 for every single time that I wore one of his pieces, someone stopping me and said, oh my gosh, where did you get that beautiful necklace from? All the time. In Cayman, out of Cayman, everywhere. It just captures people's attention. They're like, that is so gorgeous. That's my coat of arms. And I wear it with pride. I love wearing Caymanian pieces because it's a conversation starter. Gets people interested in my country. And yeah, so big shout out to David this morning. Who else we got that we're going to do a little shout out to? We got some birthdays in the house. Lots of birthdays this month. Misha's birthday was yesterday. I don't think I mentioned it on the show. So that would be very rude of me to not wish Misha an absolutely amazing and happy birthday. She's an amazing young lady. I feel like I'm her big sister. And yeah, she's a mother of 2, and I have to chuckle when I see her babies because OMG, they look like the same baby. Oh, when the genes are strong, like the kids look exactly alike. I can barely tell the difference. I'm like, are you sure this isn't the same baby you had 5 years ago? They are so cute. Absolutely adorable. We've got another Deborah Ebanks celebrating her birthday today. Good morning, ma'am. Happy birthday to you. We have Philip Mitchell. Miss Charlene Barnes has a birthday today. Carrie Bounds. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Carrie. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wow. Look at you guys celebrating a birthday here. The last February of the month, the 27th. Happy birthday. Philip Mitchell. Did I just say Philip? It's his birthday too. We have oh boy, Mr. Rodriguez. Let's just go with that. 36 years old today. Happy birthday, sir. And Anthony Russell just had a birthday 2 days ago. So happy belated to you. Jewel Hides apparently had a birthday on February the 25th as well. Happy birthday, Jewel. Catherine Hindas had a birthday on the 25th. Maria Barnes Campbell was also celebrating her birthday. Klein Glidden had a birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Klein. Ooh, honey child, you getting up there. 60. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite people, Jordan J.J. McLean, had a birthday on Wednesday as well. Oh, that's my little boy. Big, all grown up now. It's so shocking to see. Remember, when you were like in your 20s and you kind of took these little kids for pizza and did fun stuff. Now they're all grown up and I'm just like, where and how did that happen? Raymond Gale also celebrating a birthday yesterday as well. Nikki Foster Carter celebrating her birthday. Hey, Nikki. And we've got Alex Ebanks celebrated his birthday yesterday as well. So if I'm missing anyone and you are celebrating your birthday, happy birthday. All the best to you. And we're hoping that you are blessed with many, many more to come. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got some sad news this morning to share with the community. Well, unfortunately, we all have to go this route at some point or another. And I don't even know. It's just really sad. But our friend and someone who has been in the community and been played many roles in the community here, Mr. Joey Ebanks from Northside. And there's two Joey Ebankses. So yesterday when someone said to me, "Oh, I heard Joey Ebanks passed away," but they weren't sure. They're like, "Is it the car wash Joey Ebanks or the other one?" And so unfortunately, we can confirm that the other Joey Ebanks, has passed away. What can I say? He lived his life. Nobody's perfect. We know he had his struggles. I feel like he was definitely on the other side of those now. He had started his own church and was doing a little thing. So there he is. Still relatively young, I mean, we got so many people now. You just never know. So rest in peace, Joey. Want to extend our condolences to his children, his wife, sisters, the entire family, as we think about you today. And yes, he was recently diagnosed, and unfortunately, his time was very, very limited. Mm-hmm. So rest in peace, Joey. I saw that some of you were reminiscing about how much fun Joey was as a person. Joey and I are actually cousins, right? Yeah, I found that out in more recent times. I tell you, I'm related to everybody in Cayman. That's why I couldn't marry Caymanian. Somebody would have woke up one day and be like, "Sandy, that your cousin, girl? You gonna have a baby with your own cousin?" And I would have been like, "Oh, Jesus. Don't tell me that." And I kind of figured this from a long time ago, because I remember before I left Cayman, I said to my dad one day, I'm like, "Dad, good old Uric boy," because I couldn't trust him either. He probably got 50 million children, 411, as they say, all over the place. I was like, yeah, I kind of get the sense that I should probably never marry a Caymanian, because we family to everybody in Cayman. He just looked at me. He knew. But yes, Joey's, we're cousins apparently. But I saw some of you reminiscing about back in the day. He used to be a police officer at one time. Yep, I didn't even know that. But back in the day, you guys used to have so much fun with Joey. Someone said, Sandy, he played hard and he lived hard and he had a lot of fun. And I said, well, that's one way to do it. You're going to go out having some real good memories. So they said that he was always the light of, the light of their gatherings and stuff back in the day when they worked for the RCIPS. They said, oh man, they enjoyed him. Anytime he was on shift, he really lit up the entire shift. Was just excited to have Joey there. I think at one point there was mention of him working in Cayman Brac even. Boy, I bet you the Brac wasn't boring when he was there. But rest in peace, Joey. So sad to have heard of this news yesterday. We also have Detective Inspector Collins or Muley, who has passed away. And I actually got to know Detective Armuli because, ironically enough, in my experiences with the RCAPS, he was actually one of the people that I came in contact with. He was always respectful, though, I must say. So he also passed away on the 19th of this month. And so we want to extend our condolences to his family as well. So very, very sad. So the police have announced that he served with them for 30 years. He was actually an active serving member, detective inspector of the police service. And he had a very distinguished career with the Criminal Investigations Department, specializing in serious and violent crimes across the Cayman Islands. And of course, his body will be laid to rest in Nigeria, but they will have a memorial service here in his honor. So you can look out to receive that announcement in due course. So like I said, we also want to extend our condolences to his family as well. So yeah, very sad. All right. And of course, I know that there's so many more, Cayman in this day and age. Caymanians say to me every day, man, Sandy, we dropping out, so many of us just going. And I said, yeah, I get it. I guess all of us have to go that route. Nobody escapes this life alive, no matter what you do. So I want to let all the grieving families know that obviously we are thinking of them. Oh, Mr. Antonio passed away? Oh my gosh. Oh no. I didn't know this. Aw. I was just having a look here at the funeral page. I mean, my goodness. Sometimes you look there and you're shocked to see who has passed away. See Mr. Antonio? Oh my goodness. Better known as Tony. Wow. I did not know that. Well, condolences to his family as well. He was real estate, right? He did real estate. We have the late Marlene Beverly Parchment. Oh, what a beautiful picture of her. Wow, she's so pretty. Oh, I love this picture. But yeah, so many people, unfortunately, just, a lot of people passing away. So all you can do, folks, is live the best life that you have. And, give it your all so that you're not living with any regrets. Because like I said, this is definitely one path that every one of us, nobody gets out alive. Oh, isn't that a beautiful picture? This lady's beautiful. May she rest in peace. So here we are, reflecting on the loss of a few people this morning. And at the same time, also recognizing that we're here. We have life, we have breath, hopefully health. And so we get up every morning, put on our armor, and go about our business, doing what we got to do. Right? Radio. Oh gosh, Sunita remembers him being in real estate. Oh my goodness. With a not so positive memory. Ay. What a hot mess, Sunita. Thank you, Plain and Straight. Rest in peace, Joey. Marshall says, I remember playing dominoes with Joey on Sundays and family gatherings in Bodden Town back in the day. Sending condolences to his entire family. Mm-hmm. All right, beautiful folks. Miss Wee Wee, good morning to you. Diamond Princess is in the house. Strong Will, thank you. Evelyn. Oh, your hubby's birthday is today too? Well, happy birthday, hubby. 65. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Honey child. We are all getting up there now. Remember back in the day when you were like 35 and you thought you were going to be 35 forever? Yeah, I remember those days. It goes by in a flash. Young folks, I can assure you that it happens a lot quicker than you think. One day you're going to wake up and you're 55, and if you're lucky, you make it to 65, and if you're really lucky, you make it to 75, and you're like, wow, what a life. And you got to do your best in between to have a positive impact on as many people's lives as possible. Yep. So I got a story to tell you guys. You're not going to believe this one. It's quite unbelievable for me too, but things happen, and it's a stark reminder. And, you know, we work so hard every day to have a little something in life, but Hurricane Ivan was a real eye-opener for me. It reminded me that you can have all of the worldly possessions in the world, and then one day something happens. A hurricane. Cat 5 hurricane comes your way, and boom, you lose everything. Your whole house, all your clothes, cars went. The magnitude of that devastation really opened my eyes, because I was like, wow, nothing was safe from that storm, right? And, you know, it impacted the whole country, I think, is why the magnitude of the loss was so incredibly interesting. And I remember going through, you know, we had some roof damage where we were in our apartment, and I remember going through stuff and like, okay, well, I hadn't really worn this outfit in forever, so why was I holding on to this? And I recognize that when it comes to material things, yes, you work so hard, but then you also can lose it in the blink of an eye. And it's just a reminder, I think, to all of us to not hold on too closely to material things. Like, yes, you work hard. And my aunt always taught me, if you work hard for something, you took care of it. You didn't allow, you know, people to just willy-nilly mess it up. You took care of it yourself. And then every once in a while, so I did like a whole clean out, and I tried to, as a result of Ivan, I really tried to disengage from material things, right? Like, yes, they're nice to have, but hey, ish happens, and sometimes you're going to lose it. And last night I was reminded again of how fickle life can be with the things that we have. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. How you doing?
Hey, not bad. How are you?
I'm okay. I was just listening to what you just said, and it kind of reminded me of something that I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say.
Oh, I love listening to him.
Yeah, I saw him at was it City University? Yeah, it was at City University, the cheaper version of the school that he actually preaches at, which is Columbia. But in any case, he had said something about, he was saying something about he thinks that the greatest sin of all is to leave this world just exactly or worse than you found it. He said he wants to leave it, he wants to leave this world a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now I don't have the power to make this whole world a little better. I don't. I know my limitations. But maybe I can make West Bay. Maybe I can just make maybe my section of West Bay, maybe Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make that a little better.
Why not?
So, you know, like my mother's retired and stuff, and she's getting old and things like that. But she wants to feed people, right? So I said, well, let's talk about that. So, you know, with a little help from the government and with a little help from other churches, I think in about a month or two, I think we could do it 3 days a week.
Okay.
3 days. That's like every other day someone can get a meal. You know, that's going to be at my mother's church, Church of God, where Brother Garrett preaches.
Oh, wonderful.
They have a nice hall there, which can easily accommodate 7,500 people.
Wonderful.
And it's amazing. As old as she is, she still can make a difference. She's got back problems. She's got back problems, shoulder problems, high blood pressure. I mean, she's old, but she's still trying, you know? And I respect that. I respect that. You know, the other day, not the other day, it was about 2 months ago, I was going by a particular liquor store. It's not really important which one it is. And this guy said to me, he said, "Oh, Roy, you were drinking last night and you dropped my phone." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, approximately what time? And I picked up my phone and I'm pushing some buttons. I said, approximately what time was that? So he said, "Oh, it must have been about 8 o'clock. So I said, "You see those two cameras right there? They record everything to a hard drive and then they write right over it. And it's also backed up to the cloud. Here is between 7 and 9. Show me where I dropped your phone. Point to it." I took out the $50 bill and I set it on fire. This is this paper.
Oh my goodness.
Never asked me for money again.
So I wonder why he thought that you would not remember that situation.
No, he's just a hustler. He would sell his soul.
Oh my
He would sell his soul for another can of beer.
Oh.
And it's a shame, really.
Sounds like an addict. Probably a nice guy, but just has an addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I thought Wilson was actually going to be on.
He's coming. Don't worry. We're just waiting on the minister.
Oh, because it said 7:30. So I thought.
Yeah, well, the show starts at 7:30. Sometimes they don't show up just at 7:30, but the show does start at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, hang tight. Hang tight.
Hold on. I don't think I'm going to be around when he gets back, but can you let him know that that there are some people in Cayman that could do little workshops on like a Saturday or whatever. And what does he think about that? Especially, well, in my field, which is technology, you know. You know, I've just been doing it a long time. That's all. Somebody taught me.
Thank you, darling.
and somebody taught him. Each one teach one.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Roy. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. Yes, we are waiting on Minister the Honorable Ralston Anglin to join us. And he'll be here in a bit. He will be coming on. We're going to talk about the budget and education updates this morning. So what can I say? Right, I was telling you guys a little bit about a little incident I had last night, and I want to thank this gentleman for his honesty in reaching out to me. So apparently one of my neighbors, don't know exactly how, but anyhow, was backing up and backed up a little too far and backed up into my car that was parked. It's so funny because Cayman roadways are like the wild, wild west. And you can go years without having an accident on our roadways. Consider yourself fortunate and lucky because it's like, whoa, that's amazing. And I had left my car at home, took another car because we were consolidating yesterday and I had to go pick up Marlon. And anyway, there's a reason why my car, which ordinarily probably might not have been at home at that time, although normally I'm home pretty early. So anyway, I wasn't home. The car was home and he backed right up into it. Bless his little heart. And he did reach out and said he was so sorry and, we'll have to get it sorted. It's just a little, I'm hoping it's, something that they can maybe just buff out or something. I'm not sure, but my goodness, I had to reminisce and say to myself, okay, you're not safe on Cayman roads driving. And apparently you're not safe parking either. But it reminds me, get your dash cams, folks, because that parking mode catches everything. The second someone walks in front of your vehicle, on the side of your vehicle, on the back of your vehicle, parking mode got it captured, honey child. So he was quite, I think he didn't want to end up on Mall Road. He's like, Miss, please. I don't want no trouble. I was like, yeah, neither do I. I mean, you just pay for it and I think we'll be fine. But this is the point. You can't get attached to material things. Cars can be replaced. That's what you have, $5 in the bank for. That's what you got insurance for. All these fun things. And it happens. I just said to him, where exactly were you backing up going? So we got a little ding there, and there. But I was actually looking at it last night, and I do have ceramic wrap on the high impact areas of my car. Big shout out to Rashid this morning. You guys need any tinting or ceramic work done to your vehicle? Rashid Facey, that's my boy. He got you covered. And so he does this film, and I have it on like the door trims, like, how you open your door and you accidentally ding somebody. There's certain key areas that it makes sense to have this. And I believe he had that area, like the bumpers covered and stuff as well. And so you peel that off now, it might not be as bad as we think, So big shout out to Rashid. Definitely look him up. He can do complete vehicle wraps, or he can just do like the high impact areas and stuff as well. Ladies, you guys will feel me when I say, when you open your car door, for some reason, her nails always scratch like that little part, no matter how short you try to keep your nails, they always seem to scratch underneath the door handle. And so he'll do like a little film wrap. It's like just a little clear piece right there to protect that as well. Because we work hard. Yes. What a luxury it is to have a car. But we work hard for these things. So as Aunt Lottie said, whatever you have, even if you got one outfit, one pair of underwear, my aunt was very, very clear. You stay clean, you get up, and you make sure it's washed and clean, and you're clean, your clothes are clean, and nobody has to know that you only got that one outfit. Of course, I always used to look at her and say, but Auntie, if you only have one outfit, they're going to see you wearing the same outfit over. But the point was, she was like, that, not a point. I was one of those kids who questioned everything, and she would be like sitting there shaking my head. What are you asking me that for? And I'm like, well, it makes sense. But her point that she was trying to make is, even if you're in that dire of a situation, which obviously most of us are not, we have more than one little outfit. You don't need to have people all up in your financial business, but you must always, cleanliness is next to godliness. You must always present yourself, well. And so that was one of her many life lessons that she certainly passed on. Minister, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. All righty. So put your virtual hands together, folks, And Shaka Zulu, good morning to you, honey child. Put your virtual hands together for the Honorable Ralston. I love saying his middle name now because I know he takes pride in saying it himself. The Honorable Ralston Malachi Anglin is here with us this morning. He is the Minister of Education and Training, as well as finances. And I think there's something else added on too. Is it finances and Minister, help me out here.
Finance and Economic Development.
Finance and Economic Development. There we go. Miss Risa, she got the
Sandra, you can't forget that last piece, because that last piece of the ministry has been ignored too long. And it's put us in a point where we really don't have any long-term strategic plan for economic development. Nor have we paid enough attention to the key pillars of economic development and how government can assist. But I'll speak to those toward the tail end, because I basically have an hour. We've got lots of things going on this morning. Okay. I got a group of young Caymanians going off for a dance endeavor that they've been invited to UE. Very high-end, great group.
Okay.
And then there's also the career fair at John Gray today. So I have to go out and attend to both of those. As you know, Sandra, I don't believe in sending people to represent me. I believe in showing up to these things and showing young people that I'm actively engaged and not just about funding things. I want them to see that presence, because I think presence means something to young lives.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So let's get into it, shall we? I know that we were doing some education updates the last time that you were here. And of course, the ministry has been focusing on a number of initiatives to really help our young people and put them in, the best possible position to do their best, to achieve their best, give them the resources that they need, the finances that they need, the support that they need. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of your continued support. We were talking, I think last time we might have touched on this, with the government high school scholars and the two young ladies who are recipients of that. And now they can move forward in their professional education endeavors, university. And they've done amazing things already at the high school level, and they continue to do things. Do we have any further comments that you wanted to make in relation to the high school scholars?
Well, just this week, we went back onto Clifton Hunter campus and at an assembly where they were feted, where they, as Clifton Hunter students and graduates, they went back to ensure that all the young people on that campus could see these two outstanding former classmates who have been doing such great things with their lives. At present, both of them are at prep and Catholic high schools, sixth form college. Sandra, you've heard me say on the show, I'm not about fondly looking back at our perceptions, and let me use this word very, very clearly and soberly, Sandra, perceptions of yesteryear. As adults, every generation says our generation was the best. Everybody says our childhood was the best. Everybody says our experiences were the best. There were no times like the times I grew up. And you hear that continually throughout humanity. You hear that? Sorry, Sandra.
Okay.
That was
I was looking to see, did I have a tab open? I'm like, where's that music coming from?
No, I had set a drop dead time for yesterday, and it repeated as an alarm on the phone. But yeah, so we look back at all these experiences we have, but then we don't look at today and say, what's the reality of today and what's best for today? Why do I say that, Sandra? I've heard people in this community talk about government should get back into sixth form. I disagree with that 110%. I said this the last time, but we're going to repeat this over and over and over. Why do I say that? Let's go back and let's, in a minute or two, refresh our memories as to what got us to this point. So when I was in high school, prep nor Catholic had a high school. And so all of those students joined us in third form, went through third through fifth form, and on to sixth form. I tell people all the time, some of my lifelong friends came from either prep or Catholic and joined us in public school, and people really enjoyed and saw how that, what we called integration of public and private school students, was so important. Well,
Mhm.
in the 90s, the then government, national team government, made a decision, a conscious decision, not to build a second high school in Cayman, on Grand Cayman.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so we wound up in a situation where government then took the decision and said public high schools were for Caymanians, and if you weren't a Caymanian, you couldn't attend a public high school,
Mhm.
and because we were out of space.
Mhm.
And so Prep and Catholic quite rightly reacted and got into the high school business. The
Mhm.
rest of this is history. So on the one hand, Sandra, we lament the fact that we're not having our public school students
Mhm.
integrate with private students.
Right.
There's been two positive things that have come out of this. One is we now have two of the most outstanding A-level colleges anywhere on this planet. The results of Prep and Catholic's A-level program are first class. They're world class. Up until this year, again, you see them advertising where students have gotten admitted. We have a young lady going to Oxford this year, and I'm sure there's going to be more going on to world class institutions. There's students going to Russell Group schools, left, right, and center.
Mhm.
Beauty is the most able, the dual entry program that I started in 2011, where our most high achieving students were funded either to go to start their associates in their final year of high school or their A levels in their final year of high school, has caused that integration to happen. Right now, Miss Chloe Reed and
Mhm.
Miss Maria Robinson, the two high school scholars,
Mhm.
are at prep and Catholic high schools A-level college respectively. They're having a wonderful opportunity to now integrate with all of the persons who have gone to private school. Now remember, now private school isn't just non-Caymanians.
Mhm.
There are lots of Caymanians who attend prep and Catholic. Right?
Mhm.
That's a choice that every parent ought to make around what education they're going to quote unquote purchase for their kids, for their young people, for their children. And so why would we now want to disrupt what is outstanding achievement?
Mhm.
And it also allows our government students to now go and mix and be with all of their peers. Just last year at Prep High School, the head boy was a John Gray High School student. So it's not like when they go to Prep or Catholic, they're
Mhm.
sidelined. They become full members of those school communities, right? And so both of those young ladies are now in upper sixth. They're now in their final year. So they graduated last year and walked across the stage and received their high school diplomas. And that's why it was important for us for them to go back. And both of them went back in their prep. Chloe had on her prep uniform. Maria had on her Catholic uniform, showing all of the students at Clifton Hunter, this is where you can be, every one of you. Now, not everybody is going to be a high school scholar, and I made that point. But
Mhm.
there's so many outstanding achievers right now across our government schools who are going on to those two school campuses and having wonderful experiences. And we're having all of our Caymanian children at that level mixing. Now, what I will also add is that the dire needs that we have that have clearly started to identify themselves in my school visits at early intervention program, broken. There's only one way to describe it. It's
Mhm.
under siege, it's broken, it is not operating the way it needs to, and it's not the staff's problem. If you don't have the manpower and the resources to cope with the demand, how can you then blame the staff? it's all about resources, and that's a key area that I'm going to be taking to caucus for supplementary funding in Q2 of this year, so that we're ready for the second half of the year when school starts back in September to offer enhanced, but not enhanced, to get us to break even, as it were, when it comes to our early intervention program. If you miss children's needs when they are in their first 1,000 days of life, the odds of you ever getting them back on track to achieve what they're truly capable of is slim to none. We can have intervention after intervention after intervention. We have to do that, but the odds of success is so low, Sandra. So not only are we focused on 0 to 5, which research has shown is the most critical stage of human development, we're hyper focused on the first 1,000 days of life. The first 1,000 days of life is how we're going to give our children the best possible opportunity, not at A level. By then, children's lots have been laid. Those who are going to soar are soaring. Why would I now say to the country, oh, let's build more school plant, let's invest a couple $1 million in resources, because that's what it would take to reintroduce a high-end product for our children who are already succeeding. The children who qualify, building an A-level college isn't going to make more students qualify for A-level. What's going to make more children qualify for A-levels and become great skilled tradespersons is investing in the early years, in IEP, in our receptions across, our preschools across the country who are struggling themselves, who are under sieged. We have 2 of them that are great, that have been assessed as weak. There's about 8 that are satisfactory. We have to get the 2 weak centers at a minimum to satisfactory and get the rest of them to good. That is what is going to give Caymanian children the best chances at life. Yes, it's not the sexy way to talk about it. It'd be much sexier to get on here and talk about the stuff that'll be glitzy and you can cut a ribbon and everybody cheers and everybody pats each other in the back and says, yay, that's what we had when we were in school. I went through A-level. I attended A-levels. So this isn't about me not having experienced it. Of course, I experienced A-levels. You can search the Hansards of the Legislative Assembly. When Mr. Roy Borden took A-levels out of the high school, I was a government backbencher. At that point, I fought against it because it was there in the system. And I made the comment at the time that blue pants, because at the time at John Gray, the uniform was white pants, white shirt, gray pants for those who were in high school. And then those who were in A-level college was white pants, a white shirt. I keep saying white pants, white shirt, blue pants. And I made the comment that taking those blue pants off the campus was going to be a mistake. Now, truthfully, now that things have actually played out, there'll be those who will still say, well, we wish we had it. But the fact is, he chose to invest in a strong associates program at UCCI to complement the 2 other schools, Catholic and Prep, who are offering A-levels. So now our dual entry students have the option of a strong associates program to start early or go on and do their A-levels. So the truth is, I think history has proven him right, in the sense that now we have 3 options, 3 high quality options for our students who enter who are qualified and get admitted on the dual entry program. And Sandra, just to refresh everybody's memory, the whole issue around when you stream never really existed in our system up until 2011, because everybody reached at the end, you were 16 plus, you either went on to tertiary or you went to find a job. So SciFec was what I created, and we've talked about the fact that in the second half of this term, we're going to be building out SciFec to a 2-year institution to match UCCI, to match the 2 years at A-levels, so that everybody's finishing around 18, which is when we all admit children should be leaving compulsory education, right? We should not be having children, that is, persons less than 18, having to go out into this world and try to find their way. Complete disadvantage for our Caymanians and a complete injustice, quite frankly, to all of them and their families. So I just wanted to say that it was so good to see those two young ladies come with their uniforms, because it's, to me, it was proof of concept that the system is working. That piece of the system is working. The piece of the system for our most able students and the options they get at 16 plus is working. Cassandra, think about the equivalency. So the equivalency, if you compare them to the United States, you get to the end of high school, you may have taken a couple of APs, you may not, but you typically then take 4 years to finish university. Our equivalent in Cayman is our most able students by 18. A lot of them have either an associate's or very close to an associate's, and you're almost finished 2 years of university. Or A levels, which is your foundation year, hence the reason why you only have to do 3 years university at most UK universities, because A levels count for your first year of college. It's your foundation year.
All right. We do have a caller in the line. They've been patiently waiting. So let's see if we can take this caller's comment or question. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Mr. Ross, right? Ralston, right?
Yes, Ralston Anglin.
Great. I like what I'm hearing, and I congratulate those two students. But what I'm asking is, what about those students who get flunked during A-level program? Yes, there is UCCI, but they have the potential in getting back their A-level. Even an adult that never went through school, because during our young time, it was just all responsibilities, and should want to have an A-level degree. How would we get across there? Because there's a lot of persons out there that I have came across that even encourage them back to UCCI and for them to get their associate degree. But what is the difference between the A-level program and the associate program? Is that the A-level program more value than the associate? That's what I'm questioning.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
So we can clarify that quite easily. So your associates is the American system. That's the American system of education. A levels is the British system of education. So in the British system, what happened is around 16 plus, when you finish, once you have the requisite qualifications, you go on to do A levels for those 2 years, and it counts for the first year of university, called your foundation year. For us, because we are a British system, public system island, when our children reach the end, we give them the option. We give those who are at that stage, have the qualifications to either do their associates or do their A levels, to do their A levels. So it's not about one being better than the other. I think generally speaking, persons who are looking to go on to Canada or the UK for tertiary typically do A levels. Those who already plan to go to the US typically do their associates at UCCI. And so that's really the reason that we have those two offerings, is because our students still, it's about 50-50 right now in terms of the percentages of who go to Canada and the US or the UK.
Okay. All right. And I think that I'm glad when you explain these things, because I'll be honest with people, having gone through the US system myself, I'm not as familiar with the UK system because I haven't gone through it. And so sometimes I do get a little bit like that caller. I do get a little bit confused when you start
And
talking
that's why I
about
want to repeat this consistently, Sandra. We've covered this before, but I think this topic is so important that we need to consistently pound away at this message, because it is a key policy consideration that any minister of education would have, which is around how we provision A levels. You see, for me, Sandra, it's about making sure that we provision for it. And the other piece of it that I need to make sure that we cover, every Caymanian child who gets the requisite qualifications for A levels gets a fully funded scholarship to prep for Catholic. So no Caymanian student gets left behind. Equally, they get a fully funded scholarship to UCCI for their associates. Now, I'm also happy to say that I got a policy brief that I've signed off on since the last time I was on the show. And it surrounds the IB diploma program, advanced diploma program. I got a lot of representation from a number of Caymanian families who said, look, we get A levels, we get the associates. What about me, who either have my child at CIS at present or want to send my child to CIS to do the diploma program? What had happened in the past was we were funding that, but we were capping it at $7,500 per student. And so when I looked at the equivalences, because the first thing I had to satisfy myself with, Sandra, was what's equal, right? Because if you're going to fund something, you have to fund it proportionate to the qualification. And so once I satisfied myself that the diploma program, the IB diploma program, was equivalent to your associates and the A level in the British system and the US system, then it was an easy policy decision. And so what we are going to be doing is we will be funding that at the average of the two A level colleges scholarship. So we'll take prep, we'll take Catholic, and they're usually just a couple $100, a few $100 apart. Actually, I mean, the pricing is pretty much the same. But we take the two of those, add it up, divide by two. What that average number is what we'll be funding Caymanian students who would want to pursue their diploma, their IB diploma on island, because we cannot disadvantage any Caymanian student and their family who want to go in that route, because the IB diploma program is another highly recognized, wonderful qualification for our most able students to attain at that age.
Thank you so much. Now, we have a number of comments, and I know the minister appreciates the questions and comments and wants to engage as much as possible. So let's take the caller first, and then I have a couple questions that have come in on social media as well as WhatsApp. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Morning.
I'm good. Good morning. Morning, Cousin Raleigh. Hope you're well, and you sound like you're doing good for us and the children, which is
to be
amazing.
thankful for.
Thank you very much. Anyway, it is your crazy cousin Carrie from the block.
Hello, Carrie.
I've been asked a couple of questions to present to you, Honorable Ralston, but I'm not sure if you'll have all the answers. You may not, because this is more of a department questioning for the Department of Education, but maybe you can find out and let me know later or whatever. A couple of parents have written to me and contacted me about when we saw you were coming on, wanted to find out, and this is from the Layman Scott High School parents, some of them, not all of them. They wanted to find out what is the criteria for the Department of Educational Services when they hire a teacher's assistant. And if that party has to have certifications as a teacher's assistant, be professionally trained and experienced as a teacher's assistant, or if there's any other criteria that individuals are hired under that may not be what the Department of Educational Services would qualify and say that that's what they use as a criteria. I'm just putting it out there. I'm the messenger. Don't shoot me.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Minister, not sure if you have that readily available, but the question
writing right now to my staff to ask them if they could send that through, because I wouldn't have that sort of administrative information right in front of me.
Yes.
And certainly if I don't get it, Sandra, we will send it to you so that you can actually announce it Monday when you're on, because that's a basic question. We can just we can just have you, if I don't get it before before I have to leave.
All right, let's do a few more. Nicole says, hearing this made a great start to my day. Thank you, Honorable Anglin, for caring so much for children and for advocating for them. We have a listener to the program says, could you raise this with the minister? Is there a program in place to help identify a student's natural strengths and the areas that come most easily to them? Everyone has things that come naturally. The key is identifying those early and building on them. That way, when it comes to choosing university paths and careers, the decision becomes much clearer. I believe we should consider introducing an aptitude assessment for students entering high school so that they can receive the right support to develop their natural abilities. Then another assessment could be done in middle or upper high school to ensure they're still on the right track. If students are guided towards what they genuinely enjoy and excel at, they're far more likely to thrive. After all, when you do what you love, it never feels like work.
So, Sandra, we've missed so many children in this community that it's shameful. Because we've missed so many children in the early years, we have kids who can't access any traditional assessment. We're on for the cold hard truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're on for the cold hard truth.
Yeah.
That's why early intervention, early years is the most important thing. When you reach 12 or 13 and you can't string two sentences together to read, how are you being assessed? I would like to believe all that the author said, and I get where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong. I 75% of what they're saying for children, that applies. There is a cadre of students that, because we've missed them so early and we try this game of catch up, we consistently try this game of catch up, math intervention, literacy interventions, and you're just never able to get them to level, get them to perform just in basic literacy and numeracy at their age level. So that's why you hear me harping on early childhood care and education so much. We do have a number of assessments at varying points in the system. The one thing that the author has put in the message that I thank them for is around skills and aptitudinal assessments. We don't do a particularly good job of that system-wide, and that is something that I'm going to take on board that we need to move with pace with, because it will assist us with especially offerings for SciFec, because we want to be able to differentiate out those offerings. Right now, students pick what they want to do and you kind of guide them, but we're not doing a good enough job to guide them. And so remember, in my manifesto, and therefore what I'm looking to deliver, is that SciFec will become what is our national trade school, or national trade institute. That is where we're going to be streaming our students, those who are more aptitudinally at that age, gearing toward trades, versus those who are in the dual entry program, going on to A-levels, going on to an early associates, or going on now to the IB diploma program. And so the author is quite right. We need to do a much, much better job, because that's going to help not only the student, but it also will help us as we try to then get apprenticeships for them. Because if the apprenticeship is more targeted toward what they really are naturally more, I'm not going to say inclined, because sometimes that may give the wrong connotation, but more naturally gearing or going toward when you actually drill down and really assess them at that sort of level.
And I must say that the one thing that came to my mind, and this is just from my own experience, is I think that although someone may have a natural inclination or, like certain things, exposing them to other things that maybe they don't even think that they're great at, but showing them that, yes, you can get out of your box, get out of your comfort zone, right? And do other things really can open up career paths for them that they never even imagined. I mean, did I ever see myself as a journalist? No. I mean, but the foundation was there. And I think that it's those foundational skills. So when I did the writing degree, an English degree, I was kind of singularly minded thinking, oh, this is for law school. That's the route that I'm going to go. And as life would have it, that isn't the route that I ended up. But I can tell you, listener to the program, that I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm on the right path, and that law would have probably been a sort of misstep for me, but you never know. So you got to give kids the foundation that they really need to really have more options in life. And I think that that's really important, especially knowing that in this day and age, most people will go through their lives not on one singular career path, but do multiple things throughout their lives.
That's very important, Sandra. That is so important. And that's why that right there is the reason why you'll hear me consistently resist people calling for us to stream students at primary school. You're not going to find any high functioning society or system that does that. Finland doesn't do it. Switzerland doesn't do it. Sweden doesn't do it. South Korea doesn't do it. You don't stream that early. You have to give kids the ability to develop and really that opportunity to succeed. Because if you cut them off too early, and you put them on a path that perhaps they were a quote unquote late bloomer, right? And then what would their life chances have been had they had the option? And I think 16 is quite young enough. 16 is a very young human being. And so 16, where we stream now, is where certainly from a policy standpoint, we're going to continue to stream. That's not to say that once we see certain things behaviorally, attitudinally, and from a cognitive development standpoint, if we don't create alternate pathways for a very small percentage of our students, where it's clear earlier on that the pure academic route is leading to frustration and them misbehaving and all sorts of other negative things happening. So the two things have to go hand in hand.
Yes. Caller, good morning and welcome to the program.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm quite enjoying what I hear the minister say about education. I agree with him about streaming. And there is one thing that, and I love his focus on catching issues at the primary level. I think that for example, when people talk about the problems at John Gray, they need to realize that that's just a manifestation of something that happened earlier.
Amen.
And that's why his focus on early is absolutely necessary. There's one thing about the primary level that I believe that you should be aware of if you're not already, which is when teachers are hired to teach at the primary level, it should be ensured that the mindset of the teacher isn't that of secondary education. Because what it results in is the teacher making the assumption that the student has a greater background knowledge of the particular subject than they actually have. And so the required explanation that should take place with children who are essentially a blank slate doesn't happen the way it ought to. Now, I had a little run-in with one of the teachers over this, and this is how I became aware of it. And what I want to say is that you can't take a secondary school teacher, put them in primary school, and that's it. I understand that there are shortages and substitutions, and I understand that things happen, right? But I think that is something that you should ensure, because you don't want students to miss out on the explanation of subjects. It doesn't have to just be math. Because that will only become a major issue down the road. So I just want to bring that to your attention. The things that I've heard you say today, I agree with. I love it. I just hope that you're successful and you get the support that you need for the primary level, because that is the key.
Thank Sandra. I would love to thank the caller for that intervention. I'm going to take it a step further. One of the things that has emanated already from my school visits is not only around teaching and classroom pedagogy being appropriate. Teachers in the early years are actually asking us for differential professional development for themselves, because what they're telling us is when they go, and let's just say it's around math instruction and how to best impart the structural way in which you have to frame your mind to become proficient in numeracy. What early years teachers are telling us is that often they'll go into a professional development course that is aimed at primary, but it's much more geared at years 4, 5, and 6, not years reception 1, 2, and 3. And so that's a key takeaway that we've already established from our school visits. So that ties right on to what the caller is talking about. Because if teachers are telling us that in their own world where they need to get professional development and become stronger in certain areas, their level of interaction with those who are leading their courses is not meeting them where they need to be so that they can meet their students where they need to be. So that's critically important. So I think those two items go hand in hand, and what the caller referred to is critically important. And I will certainly find out by getting the chief officer and the team to check how many secondary persons have wound up being in primary. I don't know the answer to that, but it's something we certainly can check into. I've read the question.
Yes.
So no, I don't have any scientific way. Here's what I'll say to the author.
Let me just read it for the benefit of our listeners who haven't necessarily on radio know what the question is. It says, "Hi, Auntie Sandy. I've heard Ralston's claim of prep and Catholic being amongst the best, in quotation, sixth form colleges in the world. Is there an independent ranking that he's basing this on? If this is accurate, that's great, but I'd like to understand the basis of the claim."
So the basis of the claim is simple. I have followed student performance and where students have wound up in terms of university acceptance and what they have clearly reported to parents about average performance of their A-level students. What I will do, I will get to each of those two colleges, sixth form colleges, and I will get them to give what is the average results of their students and break that down, because I know just anecdotally from the performances that are reported to parents and where students wind up, that those levels of performances is among the best in the world. But there isn't a ranking per se that puts them there. But I will get the data because it's a very good question. And I like to have data to back up anything that I'm going to say. But I will stand by my claim that prep and Catholic offer A-level instruction that is world-class. Their students are winding up at Cambridge, Oxford, MIT, Ivy League schools across Europe and the US, and they're doing an outstanding job, and we need to continue to build because that's national capacity. See, I don't look at education as saying, oh, well, what's specifically public or private? We need to make sure we have the best education institutions in Cayman. and be able to get Caymanians to those institutions to get the very best instruction they can get.
Mm-hmm. All right, we do have a caller on the line. Caller, quick question or comment. Minister, we do know we want to get to some budget elements as well, but education is always a hot button topic for sure. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning again, Sandy. Good morning, Minister
Morning.
Ralston. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. I haven't seen you like in person since I ran into you at McRuss, but anyway, good to see you on there.
Mm-hmm.
This thing about education is really touches me because I think knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
I read that somewhere. And because my mother and father, who really didn't have much of an education, they were in the 1950s and 1960s. My father got a job working at a national boat carrier. My mother swept yards and twisted rope and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And by the sweat of their brow, they were able to take me and my two younger brothers to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I went to kindergarten when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
I went to a very fancy high school. It's the largest high school in the United States. 7,000 students. Only one out of every 100 that apply get accepted. I went to college when I was 16. And it's not because I'm so dumb. It's not because I'm smart. Somebody taught me that. You see, that's the root of it. It's not. You got to have quality education, and quality education starts with quality learners, teachers. I mean, the guy who taught me aerodynamics worked for NASA and put man on the moon. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say, I think our young people I ask them, what do they want to do when they grow up? Tell them what you can. We now have computers that can tell you what's the best way, what's the best school, whatever. And you can do it. We all can. You posted a picture of these rugby girls going to Charlotte, North Carolina. They look so young and beautiful and full of energy. My youngest daughter happens to live in Charlotte, and I told her about it. She said, "Yeah, all right, I'll go check them out." Yeah, her mother, which was in the Olympics. Her uncle won 2 silver medals from Jamaica. She knows something about sports by osmosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Just one last thing about the economic development thing. There's some government agency that helps give locals money and stuff like that. A friend of mine went there about 15 years ago to borrow $500,000. Guy said, I've been working here 8 years. Every guy your age that comes in wants either a car or a boat. Well, his $500,000 means nothing to him now. But it's not the hammer. It's what you can do with it. Money's just a tool. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you so much. A few more comments, and we're going to switch gears a little bit. This person says, morning, Ms. Sandy, good morning. Can you ask the minister if he has the truancy rate, particularly for primary schools? I'm familiar with one case in West Bay where the child is not consistently in school. Education ministry is in charge of monitoring truancy rates. How does that work?
So the department operationally supervises schools. And so they would have the truancy rates and what's happening at that level. I don't have that information off the top of my head. I can say that sitting here, that as a minister, I have been very, very frustrated around our admissions at the DES. I've been very frustrated around students that I have personally, as minister, reported to them as being truant, and the students are still not in school. I have asked the chief officer on numerous occasions. She has asked the department on numerous occasions to get these situations resolved. Some of them are complicated. Let me give you one. One is a student whose great-grandmother came to Cayman from Isle of Pine and has been allowed to stay in Cayman at the pleasure of the governor. A lot of those persons never got their situation, immigration status, resolved. And so what happened, Sandra, was a lot of them, because they were given a letter, they were literally brought back to Cayman because they're Caymanian descendant. So they're brought back from Isle of Pine. You're given a letter that says you can live and work in Cayman anywhere you want. So you don't have any immigration control or restriction. You don't need a work permit. A lot of people just didn't feel the need to do anything further. They didn't feel the need to try and go get Caymanian status because as far as they were concerned, their grandparent was a Caymanian. They'd been allowed back in. They were given a letter that they could just live, have their being, and that was it. And so what has happened is, down the line now, we have grandchildren who immigration are looking on and saying, yeah, but you've never been regularized. You can stay in Cayman. We're not going to kick you off, but you've never been regularized. Our department is now looking on and saying, oh, but you don't tick the box that says you have Caymanian status. So two things have come out of that. One is I've gotten caucus to agree that we are going to go on a drive to collect the information of Cuban Caymanians, persons who are of Caymanian descent, who have never been regularized. Because what immigration is saying is under the current construct of the law, they have to go through the PR system. That is completely unfair to people who have been in Cayman for 30 years and this sort of thing, right? Completely unfair. Now, let me be clear. The fact is there's been opportunities and yes, there was differing avenues that they could have taken up themselves. So I give that point. Here's the reality. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's the bottom line, Sandra. They didn't, and now their children or grandchildren are being penalized for it. That's not fair. These are Caymanians. These are Powers, Tomlinsons, right? Dixons. These are all people who are of Caymanian descent, but sometimes the descent goes back further than grandparents, so they can't get automatically recognized. So caucus has agreed that we're going to go out and do a drive to collect as much information as we can as to, because this is another category of what some people are calling ghost Caymanians, you know, right? So the Caymanians, but they're really not quote unquote on our books as Caymanians, but they're living here, working in Cayman. Okay? Because my view is all of them should be regularized and made Caymanian. Because they are. They've been in Cayman for decades. They live up in West Bay. They live all over the island. Predominantly, a lot of them are from West Bay. And something has to be done. So let me get back to where we were talking about truancy now. And so here you have a young lady who herself isn't employed right now. She can't afford to send the children to any private school. But the department is now looking on saying, oh, no, we're not letting you in because you can't tick the box. Here I am saying to them, no, this person is of Caymanian descent. Yes, we have a technicality that is keeping them out of. Child hasn't been in school since last year. One child hasn't been in school at all. And so, well, you know, so Sandra, I've reached a point where I was talking to the Attorney General, and under Section 54(7) of the Constitution, ministers have the ability to administratively write to departments and ensure that they're instructed as to what to do. This is where you get rogue departments. Go read 54(6) and 7 of the Constitution, Sandra. Very, very important constitutional provisions that's rarely used in Cayman. Do you know, Sandra, that under 54(7), a minister can combine two departments and make them be operating under one public servant if they want to?
Nope, never heard of that.
Go read it between now and the next time I go on. Go look at Section 54 of the Constitution, because those were important provisions that we put in place, customary across overseas territories, but put in place so that good governance could happen when you had what a minister would look at and deem as maladministration, poor administration.
Mm-hmm.
And so that poor administration has to end. I'll tell you another category. This one is a little trickier, a little more vexing, but equally important. So I have another situation where a Caymanian has married a person from another country. I think it's Dominican Republic or Honduras. I can't remember which one it is. The child has been allowed to be brought in to Cayman. Average working family, can't afford private school. Child's not been in school since last year. These are situations that have been reported to me, that I've reported to my department. I can't get them in school. So some of the issues that the public care about, and Sandra, you know my style. I don't hold any punches. I come on the show regularly because I face the criticism, I face the tough questions, but I'm also going to be completely blunt and honest about what I see and what I found and what exists. But those are situations that have to be regularized because it's children. What do you think their life chances are going to be? What are their life chances going to be?
Yeah.
I found out that one is now at least in homeschool, so they're using a curriculum for one of the students. So at least they're trying to do some instruction at home with the child because there's an online program that they found that for the child to actually be participating in while they're waiting for the child to be able to get into school. And Sandra, one of the other things that I'm waiting on that same unit in the department is to actually give me the information around of the 17% of non-Caymanians in the system, how many are children of teachers, how many are children of civil servants, and then how many are others? Because it's important for the country to understand these sorts of statistics because they're very, very important. First of all, the public has a right to know because it's our education system. It's our Cayman Islands. It's our tax dollars. It's funding the education system. And so, yeah, you can probably sense that I'm a little frustrated, to say the least, because if I can't get traction and I can't get data, then who can? And this is one of the key departments in my ministry.
Right.
So we are going to be working diligently. There is reform happening with truancy. I'm happy to report that a new truancy unit is being structured, put together to actually take on the issue of truancy much more holistically than it ever has, because we recognize that it's an issue, because if one child falls through the cracks, that's one too many. And not only that, Sandra, these are important child safeguarding issues. These are very, very, very important child safeguarding issues.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you one that really scares me. Two persons that are non-Caymanian get allowed to bring a child into Cayman as a dependent on a work permit. There is not a lot of tracking what's happening with those children. Okay, that's just cold hard truth. And so we need to get hemmed up around this whole issue around child safeguarding nationally, whether they're Caymanian or not, because we need to ensure that we, certainly from a government standpoint, can put hand on heart to say we've done everything possible to keep every child who we wind up making it legal to be in Cayman. Right? Because if you're born here and you're born to two Caymanian parents, fine. But if we allow a child to come in as a dependent, there is some responsibility the government has taken on. We're the ones that have allowed that child to come into Cayman. So, Sandra, the important pieces of work that's undergoing right now, because one of the things that I did say to you that in the very first show was between May and September, we had to reorganize school leadership and ensure that we got all of our principalships, classrooms adequately built. Now we're taking on the hard work of reform of the ministry and what should be the role of the department. Because I am still thinking through this model that got created in 2000, in the 2004, 2009 term, where the Department of Education became the Department of Education Services. And Sandra, you're not used to the British system, so let me explain. In the British system, typically the three most important people in education is the minister, who sets the policy, the chief officer or permanent secretary, who carries out the policy, and the chief education officer, who is the principal advisor on education policy in other Caribbean countries. It's called education row in a lot of ministries. You typically have your minister's office, the PS office, chief education officer. We don't have a chief education officer anymore. We have a director of education services. That was a hugely important policy position that was taken back in that term. What I did in 2009 was we hired a senior policy advisor on compulsory education because I immediately saw that there was a gap, that there was no one that was looking strategically across the system and coming up with policy research and policy recommendations to the minister. That's a huge hole in the system. We don't have that position filled at present. I'll be frank and I'll be upfront about that. That is one of the positions that myself and the chief officer has been looking at about how we're going to frame the ministry around the senior policy advisor posts. Right now, we're leaning toward having multiple senior policy advisors, one around early years, et cetera, so that we have the important elements of the system, having a senior policy advisor being the person that's doing the research to ensure that we're cutting edge, to ensure that what we're doing organizationally is having the system in the best possible position to succeed. But there's lots and lots of work underway right now in terms of reforming the ministry and how the ministry is then having to work with the department. Sandra, I did say to you that I did have a hard stop today, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do have some young people that I cannot disappoint. And at the same time, us starting a new topic is not going to do justice to the topic.
I agree. Yes.
So might I suggest that I could come back on Monday or Tuesday and talk revenues and revenue measures and where we are on that front, and just finish off just on education today, because it really would make no sense to switch gears.
Yes.
When I have to leave in 5 minutes.
I agree. Just a quick note on the truancy issue. In some instances, the feedback that I'm getting, it's people who are claiming to be homeschooling their kids, but there's not sufficient monitoring of the homeschooling. And so this person said that the kids seem to be on a plane every other week, and they wonder how much homeschooling is actually going on. So maybe, I don't know how the homeschooling programs operate here, and what criteria in place for those, but maybe some review of those might be helpful. Another person is asking, is there anything in place that a primary school student who's behind, do they have extra lessons or tutoring to bring them up to speed?
Not systematically, and not nearly as systematically as I would want. And so that is an area that we have to make huge improvements on. And summer school. You're going to hear me harp on this time and time and time again. We need to not only have a more systematic way in which we try to get children to level, but also ensure that we offer a period during the summer where we can give students that extra intense intervention. Because remember, what a lot of us don't recognize it, but just think back when we were children. There's a knowledge loss during summers. When you're that young, right? When you're 10 years old, 8 years old, and you get 8 weeks break, there's some knowledge loss. It just happens with every human being, right? And so imagine if you're not performing on level before school ended, and now you're given an 8-week break. You're that much further behind. And so how we're able to roll out a more robust summer school program is going to be critically important. And that is another area that I'm certainly focused on in trying to ensure that by next summer, summer 2027, we have a much more robust intervention program across all schools. Now, individual schools, and I'm encouraging all principals to have their individual plan, and that I would then be willing to offer as much monetary support from the ministry as possible. So last year, for example, the Sir John A. Cumber Primary School, which is a bright, shining example across our entire system, offered summer school to a number of their students. That was the principal showing real leadership, real care, real attention to her students. And so she did that along with her parent and teacher body and did that as a school. And so I'm encouraging all principals to do something, put in place some plan, but we need to, from a ministry standpoint, ensure that we're clear about what the policy is and then institute a real summer school policy, because it is critically important. It is going to be one of the key things that we can use to help our children attain their maximal potential.
All right. This person says minister's making a lot of sense. He's working hard, but also working smart. Miss Marjorie seems to confirm that. Says, good morning. The minister is doing a great job. Thank you, sir. Now, there is a comment that is coming from, let's do this one from Anthony as well. Anthony says, Mr. Anglin is doing an awesome job, but I have a gripe with what he's just said. This was earlier. The government is paying private institutions to take A-level students. These institutions receive public funds yearly. The acceptance of students should be negotiated into the receiving of public funds. Can the ministry review this suggestion? Thanks, Sandy.
No, well, okay, so let me be very, very clear. All schools get that grant. That's a grant that we give just to support those schools, because in recognition that all schools have Caymanian children in the school. So that's where that policy emanated, and it's been decades old. So that's the block funding that is divided equal among all schools. This now is actually taking Caymanian children, it's usually around 50 per year, who are qualified to take A-levels to actually go and be a full-time student at that institution. And it's in the category that's the most expensive piece of schooling, which is A-levels. But Sandra, you know, it's so good to be on the show because, and it's so good to have such an awesome team. I want to thank my chairman of the Education Council, Mr. Shamara Scott, who has just reminded me that I can partially answer the question as to how I make the claim that our sixth form colleges are the best in the world. In the OES report on St. Ignatius, in 2025, A-level results were in the top 10% internationally. That's according to the for Progress, ALPS, and and over 37% of all students getting a grade A or A star. So that's OES saying it independently. So I guess I can answer that question quickly and say yes, OES has actually opined
if Mr. Scott could maybe send that to us, I think that'd be a great news story that we could put up, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
And it goes on to say, OES comment, consistently helping students achieve their academic goals while fostering a positive and responsive learning environment. That's what schools are supposed to be the last time I checked. So listen, wonderful things are happening at that level. As I said, I'm hyper-focused early intervention, how we're going to work with the health system, because here's the other gap that we have. Who's going to see a child first? The hospital, right? The hospital is going to see a child first. And so we need to be much, much more in sync. That is what's happening with pediatricians, HSA, and home. Sandra, it is nothing more saddening than when I get reports that a child has shown up to reception, clearly cognitively delayed, and has never been on anyone's radar.
Wow.
Parents, pediatricians, I'm saying to myself, what in the world is going on? And so we need, I mean, listen, you know I'm consistent about this, Sandra. Home is the first school. Parental responsibility is something that's important, but we also need to step up and make sure that the system drives this agenda rigorously, because we need to ensure that pediatricians and parents, because there's no shame in stepping forward if something is slightly amiss with your child. If you're noticing that the words, how they're stringing together sentences, is just not what you expect as a parent, do not recede and say, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything because I'm afraid of what I might hear." Every day that you do that, you are setting your child behind. So I'm pleading to all parents: pay attention to your children, pay attention to your babies. The first 1,000 days of life typically puts a child, a human being, on a pathway to where their life chances are going to wind up. That's a pretty frightening thought if you're not getting the early intervention that you need when there is some sort of underlying issue, some sort of cognitive delay happening with a human being, so that we can get the professional help, get the interventions in place, so that we can take the corrective measures and get that child onto a pathway to success. That's the message I want to leave us with, Sandra. Critically important. Sandra, great conversation this morning again, as usual. You need to let me know, God's willing, whether Monday or Tuesday works for you. I'll make either day work. But I really, really have to go because I have some young people at the airport, and I don't want to disappoint them. And then I want to pop into the career fair at John Gray, because, as I said, we have to show up for young people. We can't tell them we care and then not show up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Minister. Have a beautiful day.
Sandra, I want you to have a great weekend. I want to have all of Cayman to have a great weekend. I want us to continue to pray for all the families who have lost loved ones recently, are grieving across our communities. Equally, I want to celebrate so many birthdays that are happening. I want to shout out belated birthday to my ex-colleague, Mr. Klein Glidden, who celebrated his birthday. I won't say how old, on the 25th of this month. And one of my constituents, Miss Millicent is having her birthday, her 60th tomorrow, and has kindly invited me over for her birthday celebration. So giving her a early birthday shout out for all those who are enjoying birthdays over the weekend and over the last few days. Enjoy yourselves. We want to have one life and what God has given us. So with that,
appreciate it. Thank you, Minister. We really appreciate you coming on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my dear. All right, folks. Minister has left the virtual building because he's got to leave his real building, but we'll go ahead and continue to take your calls and comments. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Minister Ronnie. My minister.
He's already left, but I'm sure he'll hear it.
I need his number because I need to set him on someone. I need his number. Please.
All right. Contact with his team.
Yeah, I want him to look after our children, and I know he's doing a good job, and I need to set him on someone, and I mean that.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's take a few comments that we weren't able to get to. Of course, the minister sounds like he has a very, very busy day today. And yeah. Okay. All right. Let me just back up here in the comment section. I had a few flagged. So Sunita says, no matter how much training Caymanians get, they'll be rendered by employers as not qualified because of cheap labor and permits. John responds and says, depends on what part of the labor force they're entering. Blue collar, yes. White collar, no. Sunita goes on to say the deck of cards is stacked against Caymanians. Even if they're coming back from college, university in the UK or America. Shaka Zulu says, some of us are fortunate, like the minister, to have gone through the Cayman/British system and then the US system. It gives a good world perspective. Giselle, I think this question was answered already, but she says, are Caymanians students who attend private institutions eligible for scholarships for secondary education? Good question. And I think he responded to that in terms of A levels. But when you say secondary education, you mean going off to university? Yeah, I mean, you just have to apply and go through the process, right? Anonymous says, as a student returning back to the BRAC, what support is there for us? There are hardly any jobs to begin with, which is understandable, but some of us do not possess the resources to job seek in Grand. I mean, that's a tough one, Anonymous. And I'll be honest with you, the situation in the BRAC being what it is, I guess government, like in Grand Cayman, is the largest employer. But I don't know that those jobs come up very, very frequently, Now, mind you, you've had a minister there, former minister of education, multiple terms, minister of, at one point, she was youth, sports, and probably culture and heritage. My apologies, I gotta get some water. And she's done a number of things, and she's been in office for 30-something years. I have to wonder, have you ever asked her, as well as her former colleague, Mr. Kirkernel, what they were doing for the people of Cayman Brac in terms of improving the economy? You're talking about job creations. They were there for 30 years, 30 plus years. What did they do? I'm just saying. Have your lives in Cayman Brac been any better in the last 30 years? Has it gotten better? Just throwing that out there as food for thought. Shaka Zulu, this was such a good question. I'm going to go ahead and send these questions over to the ministerial team for education and training for them to perhaps come back to us with some feedback and some questions. Carrie, you have a new account or what? It says KTS Live Channel. What does the S stand for? She says this regularizing should be done by WRC and the Department of Deputy Governor's Office, and that's in relation to the children. And I didn't know that was actually creating such a situation. Very, very interesting. Unapologetically says, why are Caymanian descendants of Cubans more important than Honduras, Jamaicans, Filipinos, etc.? I'm pretty sure he didn't say that. He was given an example of a group who is, the children are impacted because of the immigration status of the parent, the guardian, and then that impacts the immigration status and educational opportunities. Sorry, I feel a little bit. Educational opportunities of the children as well. Miss Lucille says, I agree with the minister that parents need to do better with their children. I think we can all agree. Somebody said, I can't remember who it was that said that basically it's like 60% of not 60%, way more than that. A large percentage of the issues that, kids are having is a direct correlation of the environment that they're being raised in. And even when the minister was speaking about like pediatricians aren't catching it and all this kind of stuff, I was thinking to myself, though, some of these children, the environment that they're growing up in, do they even have access to a pediatrician? Like if a parent isn't that involved in their child's lives, there's a lot of stuff that they could potentially be missing. I mean, a lot. Everything from, are they going to regular medical visits? Like, think about it. If a parent doesn't, isn't actively involved in their child's lives, what makes you think that parent is going to be making sure that they go to pediatrician visits, that they are paying attention. I mean, recently, poor little Gianna needed glasses. And if we hadn't really been paying attention to her and see her always squinting when she's trying to look at something at a distance, we could have missed that for years. And those are the kind of like practical things that impacts a child's ability. If you can't see the board and you're squinting, you can't make out letters. And sometimes children themselves don't understand why they can't see properly and they're squinting and whatever. Does that not have a direct impact on their ability to learn? Of course it does. So, you've got to make sure that you're taking your children to the physicians. You're doing your growth charts. You're seeing like nutritionally, are they okay? Are they eating like they should be? Sometimes we get picky eaters and they get stuck in only eating certain things. Are you talking to the physicians about how that's impacting their development? I can tell you that this proactivity really is important, because I use myself as an example, because I think as parents, we all go through this. When I hear, and you know what? I love the fact that Gigi goes to school where they're going to ask questions. So when we do our parent-teacher sessions, they don't do just parent-teacher sessions. They actually do sessions where the child has to show you what they've learned for that term. So we go in and we are the students for the time that we've booked. And our daughter goes through and says, our project-based learning, PBL, we covered this and this is how I did. Like, they make the children, it's such a good model. They make the children explain. So when they do a PBL, they put it in the big auditorium space, and the children are the ones who have to explain as a group, right? They put them in smaller groups collectively what their PDL is all about and what they did. So if it's like an environmental base, like say they're studying the benefits of mangroves. Each one of them will tell you about mangroves and what mangroves are, and they explain it. And then you as parents, because all the parents go to those, you're able to ask them questions like, well, are there particular areas that mangroves going? So you kind of test their knowledge and understanding. So they do those group project-based learning assignments that they work like on each term. And then they also do like individual, the one-on-one sessions. So we go in, we sit in the little chairs, where you can barely fit in. And she has to show us some of the stuff that she's been doing with, math and her reading. We get to see her actual reading books. They keep them there at school, but we get to see what she's been writing and all that sort of stuff. And then we have separate parent-teacher sessions where it's just us with the teacher. And I can tell you, these teachers, they're asking questions. Like Gianna says that she doesn't get dinner. Listen to this now. I was like, in my household, a child's going to say she's not eating. And I'm just like, what? And the teacher said, I'm a little bit concerned about this. And I'm like, oh, she could do a better job at being more, she could explain things a bit more. And I said, you know what? A lot of times she tells me she's not hungry when it's dinner time. And then, these kids, oh, no, I'm not hungry. And then 8 o'clock when it's bedtime, all of a sudden, oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry. And I don't play with bedtime too much. So that's when I'm like, you're not eating at 8 o'clock at night when you're supposed to be in bed at 8 o'clock at night. So you don't get to tell me, and this is now the Aunt Lottie coming out, the cutoff time for dinner, unless something special is going on, is 7 o'clock. You need to be mindful of your time. You got your little watches now, start to tell time, right? When I come home and I ask you if you're hungry when we get home and you say no, I'm not going to be chasing you for no food. Food is here. We got cooked food. We're not stopping at no fast food joints. Don't even ask me about it, except on a Friday. That's her treat day. Other than that, you need to be eating at home. Charles be like, oh, what did Miss Stacy cook? I'm like, it don't matter. Whatever she cooked, we either eating that or we're going to eat something that we have in our fridge, right? So I had to actually explain to the teacher. Marla and I looked at each other like, oh my God, do you actually think we're trying to starve our kid? So we had to explain to her. And then that late at night, she can't have no full meal because then, of course, nightmares, upset stomach. So she was telling her, oh, she only eats an apple and peanut butter. And I said, well, when it's that late at night and I'm hearing that you're hungry, your options are kind of then limited as well, because you can't sit down and have a full meal, right? So, we had to then explain that to the teacher, have a conversation with her. But it was good that the teacher asked the question and that she was actually concerned, because she's like, listen, kids need to be getting proper nutrition, proper meals, proper sleep. They need to get a lot of sleep at night for their little brains to rest so that they can be able to stay up, during the day at school, and they can learn. So parents, you have to be involved, is the point that I'm making. You have to be having these conversations with your children's teachers. You need to be taking them to their doctor's appointment, to their eye appointments, to the dentist, right? Making sure that they're brushing their teeth properly. All of these things, being a parent is a full-time job and then some. Once you've opted in to do it, there's no escaping it. And you've got to man up, woman up, whatever the term is that you guys want to use to make sure you're doing the best possible job. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning.
I love this topic.
Yes.
Because I will always say, when you be a good parent, do good parenting, you will see the success in the child or the children. I must say, sorry with that opinion, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Sandy, it doesn't matter if you are a single parent or if you are couple parent, the full parent.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to talk from experience. You see, raising a child or children, there is a foundation that the child needs from 0 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because before the child come out from the womb of the mother, whatever the mother act, they do, the child do it just the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said this to most young persons, because when I was young, I've seen so many young youths and young children destroyed because of the parenting. In a child life, they are vulnerable when they reach 0 to 2, from 2 to 5, from 5 to 7, and from 7 to 10. If you don't know the foundation and the fundamental part of that child life, you will have a problematic child after 10 going up to their teenagers until they reach 20, 30, and until they're old, they are just problems. There are certain type of food goes to the child when the child in the womb of the mother, come from the womb of the mother. Majority of these mothers, I can't say the fathers, because some fathers, they even some of them even play a role better than the mother too. So I will talk generally. I'm not going to talk specifically. When I just come to Cayman, I recognize a lot of issues with children. And I took a lot of them under my wing. And I said, listen, we're not going to do it. That type of chips and everything, not going to do it. You need proper food. Your brain needs proper food. Because if your brain don't have retainment, you cannot learn. Roughing them, beating them brain never get it from the young. When the child start preschool, there is certain type of preschool that I respect up until today. I don't know if Biggie gone, but God bless him when he start that preschool, the one on Walker's Road. Miss Beulah play a vital role in many of these young girls and young boys' life with the after school. Miss Martin, I can tell you, my daughter, a lot of her peers, they are doing well because of the basic foundation that they get. Make sense? Most children don't know what worm medicine is, what tonic is, because the mother don't know it. That father not give them. You can look at a lot of elderly. When last you get worm medicine? They don't know. Parasite don't only live in your stomach. It lives into your brain also.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say here, and to get to the point, is that the foundation of the child life based upon the home, not school. Then, when they're going out to school, the parents need to play a vital role with the school and the teachers, right? with communication, interaction, and then you will have a child that you don't have to worry about because they get it in. When you have a child at the age of 7, 8, 9, and 10, and you said, what you want to be, most of them can't tell you. 10, 11, 12, go up to 16, what you want to be, they can't tell you. Why? Because the foundation was not there. And I'm pleading to parents, young, old, middle age, do the best that you can in your child life from their born with your foundation, that when they go out there, the teacher can say, okay, that one not going to do like what that one do. And not only that, you will be an example to others. And I can say this, Miss Sandy, I have 3 kids, and I don't have to worry about them. You know why? I was that mother, that father, that auntie, that uncle. You can't eat any and everything, as I heard it before, because the brain needs the proper food. I had a teacher ask me one day, what type of food you feed your daughter on? Our brain just clicks like that. And I want to find out, because I know you have enough business ideas. I have to be telling most people what to do from what not to do, how to take certain things from what not to take certain things. Yeah? I am a natural herbalist, Miss Sandy. If your brain dead, when I finish with you, your brain wake up. It's not about this certificate, I'm going to work towards it, but I'm a natural herbalist. It's handed down as a gift from God to me. If you're crippled, you walk. And if you're dumb, you talk. And if you're deaf, you hear. So I'm saying to them, find out. Google have everything now. And is that everything on Google is true? Yes. But find out how to play the role in your child's life with the nutrition, what time them to go to bed. A lot of persons don't know that the phone giving cancer in the hand, in the head, in the brain, and everything. When you have a child, they must limit. You don't give a child phone to say, yeah, all right, you have to do this and what have you. Sit down with the child, go through with the child with them schoolwork. A parent is the first teacher to the child, you know. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
A parent is the first teacher to the child. And when the child go to school, the other teacher carry on with the banner while you still instigate what the child is supposed to get to be the future youth of excellency. And I'm proud of all the students that is doing well. Everyone. The ones who are slow, give them a number. I am here. And I hope a lot of parents could say, yes, I am here.
Thank you, my dear.
Because it takes a village to raise a child.
Leave me there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
God bless you, baby. Yeah.
So, I mean, we keep harping on this. Alfred says, Auntie Sandy, have you heard of performative parenting? You could do a whole show on that. Not specifically, but I will certainly look that up. But yeah, I mean, we need to step it up as parents. And here's the thing. We should hold each other accountable, right? It's not one of those things where, we're trying to judge other parents, but there is a degree of accountability, I think, that we all need to have living in, especially in such a small community. So this listener to the program says, quality learning and quality students come first from quality parenting. So going back to this exact same point. And also making the note that the teacher didn't recognize the teaching of rules and following them when she saw it. And to my last comment there, you mean that you hold your child responsible for her choices? Yes. You know, if she chooses to wait till the last minute to eat, and my rules are, you not eating right before you go to bed. You know what I tell her? Drink a glass of water. I said, sometimes we mistake thirst for hunger, and I don't think she drinks enough water anyway. So I say, honey, child, have a glass of water before you go to bed and see how you feel. She might get some milk. But I tell you what, all of a sudden now, she's very time conscious. She's always asking me like a million times a day, what time is it? What time does the clock say? She's getting a little bit obsessed with it now. I'm like, girl, calm down. But yes, she's responsible for her own choices. At the age of 9, she's starting to make decisions that impact her routine, whether she's hungry, not hungry. I must say in the last month or so, I've noticed she must be going through one of these growth spurts that you guys talk about, because she's been so tiny for so long, but she's been getting really hungry. Yesterday, she had a patty. After school, she asked for patty, and she seems to love patties. I got to rein that in just a little bit. Then she had a sandwich. Then she said she was still hungry. And I was like, what? And then she had a little bit of mac and cheese. That's a lot of food for her. But you know what? Great. I mean, if she's hungry, and I got to throw in, I'm like, okay, sometimes she doesn't care for meat. Like, she doesn't really want to eat a lot of meat. I'm like, all right, we compromise. Eat 3 pieces of broccoli and the mac and cheese, and we're good to go. Okay, have a piece of chicken. We need some protein. These are the compromises that we have to make. Now, here's this image that just showed up on my social feed, and I had to shake my head since we're talking about parenting. Have a look at this one. Police issue tongue-in-cheek advisory after canned martini is found in child's lunchbox, and they quoted, "This is not apple juice." Parents, let's pay attention. Okay, this is lunch. I don't know what kind of lunch this is, first of all. A little disappointed in the selection, but this happened in the city of South Fulton Police Department had to issue this, and I'm confused by what's even in this. We got a bag of chips. What's above the chips? I'm not quite sure what that is. Something wrapped in plastic. And then it looks like underneath it is one of those, what do you call those crackers and processed meat things? Oh God. They come in the little like pre-packaged lunchbox things. Can't remember what they're called now. And so we're not allowed to eat those, because I know how incredibly bad those are for you, but look like that's what's underneath the chips in this example here. So whenever my daughter asked for those, I said, nope, you cannot have that. Sorry. They come with the Lunchables. So they come with the little meat, the cracker, and normally cheese, and you can put it together. When I found out how bad those Lunchables are for you, Lilith, yes. I'm like, no, we can't eat Lunchables. So she might have had like one in her life. And then I started to find out how, they're high in sodium. The meat is highly processed. So I've cut that out. She can't do Lunchables anymore. Once in a while, she's sitting in the grocery store and they look so tempting. She's like, can I have it? I said, no. The short answer is no. The long answer is no. So we don't do Lunchables. Then Doritos. That's salt, chips, fried. And then a lemon drop martini. What parent? Maybe the parent doesn't know how to read, because it does say martini right on the label. So Georgia Police Department issued a funny advisory over canned martini that was found in a student's lunchbox. Their comment says, say twin, before you send them babies off to school, check the lunchbox. Because why are we getting reports of juice boxes sitting next to Cutwater margaritas? My Lord. The witty warning captioned a photo of a child's lunchbox filled with Doritos, other snacks, and a Cutwater lemon drop martini, which has about 11% ABV. So the city of South Fulton Police Department and the Fulton County Schools did not immediately respond to the request for comment on this, but they said this is not Capri Sun. This is not apple juice. This is a whole parent had a long night starter pack. Now little Johnny done pulled up to third period talking about, the department continued, who want fruit snacks, knowing good and well that he got a lemon drop martini in the zipper pocket. Officials urge parents to lighten up. While mornings can be busy, students shouldn't be arriving at the school cafeteria with a drink that requires an ID. They've asked parents to review a checklist that includes homework and a packed lunch, both of which had green check marks. And they added 3 X's next to the last item on the list that says alcoholic beverages. They concluded, if it says 12% ABV, it does not belong next to the PB and J. That's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Whoa. In the last couple of years, companies have been criticized for packaging boozy drinks to look more like child-friendly beverages. In 2013, the Wall Street Journal reported that some regulators were pushing back against alcoholic drinks looking too much like non-alcoholic ones and being placed in too close proximity. For example, in Illinois, regulators became concerned by boozy and non-alcoholic versions of Mountain Dew being packaged similarly. Because again, if you're a parent that I guess doesn't know that this is a lemon drop martini and read beyond the fine, read into the fine print area, you might actually be sending your kid to school with an alcoholic beverage. Imagine little 12-year-old Johnny already becoming an alcoholic because his mom can't read a label properly. Pretty wild. First of all, give them water. Kids and even us drink too many sugary drinks. And the drinks that you think are good for them are safe. The apple juice is no better than the canned soda, full of sugar. The orange juice, full of sugar. Just give them water. They always manage to sneak in a drink here and there anyway. A fruit punch or whatever. So I don't pack sodas. Before we used to do some of the little Capri Sun. I stopped those. I don't even buy them anymore. Because if they're not here, there's no request for them is how I see it. Good old-fashioned water, but Lord have mercy, a martini for the kids. Yes, sir. Okay, final comment of the day. Oops, I think we did that one already as we start to wrap up. Good morning, Sandy. It is so refreshing to hear the minister and other members of our government and the backbenches say how happy they are to be on CMR. So different from Michael Miles's view. Oh, what a hot mess. Thank you so much. We are happy to have them on the program. And we're happy for them to be able to, talk directly with you all. And yes, 11% kid be charged. I mean, trust and believe me. No, sir. All right, folks, that's what we got for today on Friday. So I got car stuff to deal with today, and I've got my radio application that I've got to get in. I've had it sitting here half finished for like over a year. I think I'm just going to submit it because naturally they're going to come back with questions and stuff in any event. So I'll just submit it, and then, at least that gets the ball rolling because I'm just procrastinating at this point, and I need to stop procrastinating. But good news, spring cleaning is underway. Managed to clean up my front bedroom, so it's back to being a bedroom again. The bed is cleared, and all of the foolishness that I had in there, the CMR stuff, is now in a new space, and I'm going to be sharing that story and that journey with you guys coming up here in the near future. And I got to show you this because this always happens to me when I am spring cleaning. Let me just show you guys this one. Anytime I'm spring cleaning, I seem to find a little nugget of something. What did I find this time? Hold on. Let me find the picture. Let me see. Yes, here we go. This is one of the reasons why I don't like to borrow money from people, because I am like the worst. So this is what I found in the room, on the bed somewhere, in a little wallet thing. I found me some money. Look at that. $100 bill was stuffed in this. I don't even know where I got it from or what I was doing with it, along with $3 bills, 3 ones. And I was like, oh, look, I got cash on me. I got money. I keep telling you guys, I'm not a cash person. I'm always misplacing it and stuff. And this is a prime example of why spring cleaning is good every once in a while. Just dig everything out, dig out your pocketbooks, wipe them down, and look at that. All of a sudden, you find money. So I'm $103 richer today. Praise the Lord. And then right away, Gigi comes to me this morning. Oh, today is Civvies Day. So the last month of every Friday, they do fundraising and they get to dress out of uniform. So dress down day, I think in government schools is what it's called. So they get to do dress down day once a month, but they have it tied in to a nonprofit. So in order for them to participate in dress down day, which everybody wants to do so today she wore jeans and a t-shirt, she has to take a donation to the nonprofit of the day. I think she said this, she told me this morning it's Humane Society. So hopefully she has that right. So Humane Society, and when she saw the $100, she's like, you got $100. And I was like, here's a 20 US for Civvies Day. Cause she's like, I need money for Civvies Day. I said, all right, here's a 20 US for Civvies Day. And that was a lot of money. She's like, oh, wow. I'll maybe do like $5. She's like, oh, wow, I got $20. And then I did her math. I said, tell me now, is $20 US is how much CI? She's like, I don't know. I said, okay, we got to start working on the whole conversion thing because you got to know your money. I said, our US dollar, our CI dollar is closely tied to that US dollar. So you need to make sure that you know the difference. So there you go. She's getting there. She's getting there. Let me just see here now. All righty. Thank you so much. Anthony says the minister Michael is on with OC this morning and Mr. Howell. Oh, okay. No problem. Let me just check and see how many people are watching them on YouTube. All right, they got 75 people. And we have 108 plus 51 plus Facebook, which is 228 versus 75. I'm just saying. 75 is actually pretty good for them. So he's, pulling in some people. All right. Don't know where I'm going to spend my $100, but I got it in my pocket now. I should take it to the bank and put it in my account. And don't spend it at all. All right, let me see what else we got going on here. Oh, I got to do a couple dash cam deliveries today. Thank you so much for those of you who refer your friends. I got a customer who bought for herself, and then she's got some colleague who wants to buy 2 for her family. And then I got another person today who bought 2 already, and they need 1 more because they're quite aware of how crazy these streets are. My court thing was postponed. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be in court on Monday or not because they postponed it because the judge is busy in a murder trial. This is the one there in Georgetown where they found that man just lying there. And then they had to figure out what happened to him and where he went. So... yeah. I don't know. He, the one that they accuse his nephew of killing him. We'll let you guys know what happens. So that trial is impacting mine because it's like the same judge and I need to go through the whole jury selection thing. So I might be Monday. I'm not sure yet. Let me just see. I'm going to message my lawyer and see what's going on. Because I need to know so I can plan my week, or at least plan a couple days in advance, my life. Ugh, this is what they be doing, honey child, messing with my life. Good morning, Miss Anicia. I want to. Okay, what's up, me? And we can certainly get that sorted out for you, no problem. Can you get someone to tell us about what's happening with the British passport, please? Miss Marjorie, what's the question exactly? I've just sent in my renewal, so hopefully I get that soon because I need that ahead of some travel a bit later on in the year. So mine is expiring in June. So I've literally, it's so easy to do them now. I've done mine and I've sent my documentation across. And Marjorie says, yep, organizing, so important. Oh, I had so much clutter, girl, in that first room. It was like a storage area. So I've pretty much cleared it out. It's like 99% where it needs to be. And then I still have some stuff in the hallway where I'm going to go through it and decide where stuff is going. I got one bag that's garbage, one of the big black bags, one bag that's a donation bag. So I have stuff for Gigi. I'm donating shoes, clothes. I have, what's the other stuff that I have? I have just stuff that sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing with it. Chocolates, candy, like all kind of stuff. I just throw it in the donation bin. And then I do contact a police officer who works like a community officer. So a lot of times they know people in West Bay who can use it, just because I know that particular one is White always seems to go to West Bay. But yeah, so I'm going to be, if you saw the other side of the desk right now, you'd be like, girl, get to work. I'm going to be working on that stuff. Marlon came in the office and he's like, what on earth is this hot mess on my desk, on my side of the desk? I'm like, oh, Jesus. It is pretty bad. But in the next couple of days, the hallway is going to be clear. The desk is going to be clear. Like this is spring cleaning now. Everything is like going one pile or the other. Donation, garbage, or somewhere else storage wise. So I am getting there. Marjorie says I got to finish mine. So your efforts remind me to finish. I know it's so easy to start. Miss Stacy always be like, oh, you're starting, but you're not gonna finish. So I'm going to finish. Absolutely. It takes a minute. It takes a minute when you're trying to organize things. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I am going to just dip you a little bit away from what you're engaging right now. Miss Sandy.
Yes.
Do you remember when I contacted you when I was burnt?
Yes.
Yeah? I want to come on here because
yeah, but you said you're coming. You said don't start the story because you already said you're coming on next week.
All right. Yes. So we just need you to contact me when you're off here, so we can just talk to you and make you know when you come.
Yeah, just send me a WhatsApp message as a reminder.
Me not get nothing through your phone. That's why I have to call you through the ear. No, what going.
I don't know. I mean, you sure you're messaging the right number?
324-1612, right?
Yeah, message me now, right now, and say booking.
Yes.
Yeah, just say need to confirm booking, and we will book it for next week. But don't tell half the story now because we're about to end the show.
No, I'm not going to tell nothing.
So yeah, so just when we can book it next week. All right, my dear.
Because,
Good.
Yes, good.
All right, thanks very much. All right, folks. Normally I respond. I mean, let me check and see how many unread messages I have this morning. Unread messages. Ooh, there are a few. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. Oh Lord. Unread messages. 99 unread messages. Oops. Lord have mercy. But some of them I saw the preview. Ay. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to go through my unread messages and clear these up. Mm-hmm. All right, so one was from Maria yesterday, sending me a voice note. Now I'm down to 98. One was this person calling me, but I spoke to them already. One is an ad. I don't know how this business keeps sending me ads because I didn't subscribe to their list. So I actually need to, I think, mute them, or let me just have them. What they say, they're doing dermaplaning now. I go to a dermatologist for that, honey chill. Yeah, let me just get them to remove me from the list because I ain't got no time for no extra messages. My plumber, don't forget me. I need to remind him to not forget me. Thanks, I'll send a text. Look at that, I'm already down to 97 messages. This is the parent group chat. About swim class because it was so cold. And then there's a flyer. Next one. That was a scammer trying to, oh, that one was interesting. A scammer trying to get me to tell them about someone who could do their driver's license for them. But of course, they're messaging from like a Nigeria number. I'm like, child, please. Okay, that was about a traffic alert. Morning on our way. Okay, that was a picture, an accident photo by Chrissy Tomlinsons. Thank you guys so much. Yes, we had gotten that one. Okay, so that takes me now down to 89 messages. Another one from the accident with pictures. Thank you. This morning, this is every morning he does this and almost causes accidents. He's too reckless. Oh, who is this one? Okay, that was, let me try to find out who that is. All right, I will get back to you on Friday with the details. I'm pulling it together, pictures, voice note, and text messages. So I'm in a bad situation. Good morning, Sandra. I'm in a bad situation with someone. Tell me that you are the best one to help me get it resolved. I gave this Jamaican guy $2,000 for an apartment rent from January, and him and the lady scammed me out of my money. From January, I've been homeless. I will gather all the information and details to send to you shortly. I will get back to you on Friday with the details, putting them together, pictures, voice notes, and text messages. Okay, well, I haven't heard back from you, so let me know. Then I have this person sent me a video about America, $500 billion taken yearly from Africa. Okay. And then I've got someone saying, damn. Next one saying, no problem, talk soon, good morning. They deleted their messages. I don't know why people delete messages because then I don't know what you're talking about. I know you're busy, but wanted to ask if you had a moment, I can talk to you. I can call to ask your opinion on a business that I'm about to launch, like 10 minutes of your time. Okay. Dog missing from Belford Estates. Okay, looks like a pit bull. Another one. Okay, this one says, send me some warm weather. Is it possible you could put out a post about, I don't have a photo, but if you still, that would be great. Somebody missing some keys. The thing is, we need photos when we do social media posts. You either need a photo or video. You can't post something with just text. All right, this one was about one of the Jamaican guys sending containers. She says, just letting you know that my daughter have received the container and I have packs of rice in it, and Weebles take it up 3 months and some days. I'm finished with him, bad business. I'm glad that I get it, life lesson learned. So she won't be using him again. Hello, are you going to help me? I just went to his dad's house and his dad run me and said not to come to his property. This should be a whole segment. Auntie reading her WhatsApp messages. We could do a whole show about this. So they all are part of the scamming. He literally sold the car to the next guy. So this is someone looking for help about a car situation. And I've not been able to really assist them because sometimes I'm busy. Could you please share this urgent notice? All Nepali Cayman residents who are traveling to Nepali with Cayman Airways through Jamaica and Panama are not allowed to check any bag. Only carry-on and personal bags are allowed unless they have Panama visa or visa transit visa for other transiting country. Okay. This one was about what? A red hoodie? Good night, Miss Sandra. This is Rael from Eastern Star Bar. I'd like to send you a media alert if that's okay. Attempted burglary at East End Rubus. Oh, shoot, I didn't see that one. Oh my goodness. Okay, next one. This happened at Yale Thompson's Roundabout about 5 minutes, about just before 5. That's the guy, works at the auto body repair shop a block down the road from CUC on Sparky Drive. He owes me $2,000, which would be more because it's been since April 2022 that he had the car. Okay. Good morning. Let me know when you have a minute to check your schedule. Oh, Lord. Instagram messaging me, but we locked your Instagram account for your own safety. Somebody was trying to get in. Hey, Sandy, my baby seems to have tossed the shoe out the window. We are asking if anyone have seen a right foot C8 like this anywhere. Oh, pair of Crocs. The child threw the Croc out the window and the parents looking for it. Can I make a suggestion? Parents, when you have children in the car, don't roll down your windows. Keep the windows up, and also lock it so that they can't roll a window down. Even now, Gianna can't roll down a window, and she cannot unlock a door. The child safety lock is on, and no thing there. All right. Oh, I'm making some progress on these messages though. Hi, Ma Road. Is it at all possible for you to help with posting for Sheldon? He desperately needs a home before his time runs out at DOA. I think we might have done that one. Let me just see if there's any updates. Okay. This person was messaging about Bitcoin, trading, education on Instagram. Child, please, y'all need to leave Bitcoin alone. This person deleted their messages. This person says, this baby has been found. Thank you so much for your help. That was a missing cat or dog. Next one says, help Durrell Ebanks grow his petition. What's the petition for? Durrell Ebanks, let's see. Protect the Heritage Caymanian Group. Okay, so he started a petition about what? The Caymanian Heritage Group is a fundamental part of our culture, preserving customs, languages, Recognize the Caymanian Heritage Group within our Constitution. So they want the government to recognize a group in the Constitution. Okie dokie. Someone sent me a story. 2026 is off to an alarming start. Let's see what that one is about. 4 more countries tighten security at airports as deadly Nipah virus continues to surge. I haven't heard anything about it lately. Hi, Sandy. I'm in need of your assistance. Please, regarding this topic this morning with Minister J.E. Banks, is it possible to have him call me? I have a business idea which will help with drunk driving and other services, which I would not only alleviate the necessity for every work permit holder to have a car. My number is this and my name is this. I have moved back home. Privately, please, and not on the show. I mean, if you have a business idea, you put together your little business plan, go get your business license and get at it. But I guess I'll pass this on to Plahi. I'm not sure how much help they can actually be to you. Hi, Sandra. Great show. Oh, no, this is another message. Hi, Sandra. Great. Thank you. I'll be in touch with Marlon. What was this about? Who was this? Oh, yeah. So this guy was picking up a part. Okay. Yep. Lost dog by West Bay Clinic. Hopefully he's been found. Rosie sent me a video with Rasta AI vibes. Okay, I'll watch that later. Then a voice note. Miss Valerie sent me a 15-second voice note. Let me just say good morning and check that. Good morning. I'll check that. Somebody else sent me Bristol police hunt man after Bacon Place and Musk door. Okay. Media group. Wendy Ledger asking a question. There have been changes. Okay. And then okay. So guess what? I now have gone through. I think how come my phone's still saying I have all these unread messages when I just cleared them off? Lord have mercy. The phone is clearly not syncing with the phone still says I have 72, but the computer says I have 1. What on earth? All right. All right, we made progress. Oh, oops. Look at that. Cleared out my WhatsApp messages. And I still don't see any from the lady who said that she messaged me. So I don't know what number you're messaging, honey, now, but message me again. Marjorie says, almost let me plug from the beautification committee for everyone to clear up their yards too. Yeah, it's a good time to do that. Ask your community officer about sending the children's clothing to MASH. They're keeping a small collection for emergency situations for kids in crisis situations. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Never heard of that before. So that's good to know. I mean, do they keep it at the MASH unit? Or is that somewhere else? Okay, that's good to know, though. Yes, because I've always got stuff I'm donating. So, I mean, do I contact MASH directly? Is it like DCFS or? I 100% endorse this. Say what? What's that message segment? That child's got fashion sense. Scott says that child has fashion sense. Dumping those ugly Crocs out the window. Oh my God, I love me a Croc. Don't say that, Scott. They're not all ugly. This little foot is cute, I think. Don't you think that's cute for kids? They have adult Crocs that actually are quite fashionable. I'll have you know, Scott, and they're comfortable. So they're not all ugly. I do get you though. Some are a little bit like, but I like how they have the little, what do they call those little things that you can put on them? You know, the kids are into all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that kid was probably just like, I'll throw anything out the window as long as the window's down. So close that window, honey child. All right. Thank you guys so much. I feel like this person now wants to take a phone call. You see, this is why sometimes I don't be responding to messages because I can't be taking no phone call. Oh, but there is a lady that I do need to follow up with, a guy who owes her a ton of money over a car. That phone call I need to make as a priority. Hold on. I went away last week and I wasn't really in contact. Let me try and see if I can find her messages again. So this guy owes her a bunch of money over some car business. And boy, I don't know how you guys be falling into these situations with people, but y'all need to stop giving people your money. Where is that message? Oh God, I gotta try and find her now. Oh, there's a long message. And she sent me a lot of evidence, a lot of documents, a lot of photos. If you're listening this morning, message me again because I need to find that message. Oh man. Don't you hate it when you know you got a message to follow up and to do something and then you can't find it? One of the things I wish, listen, I love WhatsApp, but one of the things I really wish WhatsApp would do is allow you to ping more messages. They only allow you to ping like 3 chats. So I have myself pinned because I'm always sending myself messages. And then I'm trying to, oh my gosh, I can't remember. Oh, what is her? I saved her. I met her at Leadership Cayman. Oh gosh, when was this? Good morning. I think it's you that I'm talking about. No. Nope, it's not you. It's another young lady. She was doing Leadership Cayman. She would have messaged me a couple weeks ago now. And I reached out to the guy and he's like, oh, can you take a phone call? And I'm like, really? This has to be a long, drawn out conversation. You owe the money. You owe the money. What is there to talk about? Let me see. Lord have mercy. Oh, Miss Jackie, you sent me a message, child. I need to listen to your voice note. I need to listen to Heather's voice note. Gemini Car Imports. This is the guy. Good morning. You see, I can't remember her name, but I see his thing come up here now. Yeah. Uh-huh. Gemini Car Imports. Yes. I can't find her message though. I got Gemini. Let me see if I search Gemini, if I find her number. Aha, here she is. Yep. Oh, I hadn't saved her number. Okay, so we're going to call him off air first because I'm going to give him an opportunity to fix this situation. But she sent a lot of evidence. Like, I've never seen anybody have this much. And he's supposed to be repaying her and all. Now she can't get her money back. And I'm talking about, when I say money, I mean, she's got voice notes. For my calculations, he has US $37,718 for me, which includes my revenue share for the vehicle sold. And if I only consider the money I gave him and my vehicle, he has $29,252.33. Wow. No, sir. I mean, let me be clear. If this is not someone like a Car City, like a real business in Cayman that you trust, that when you give your money to them, you're going to get your goods. Don't be giving these fly-by-night supposed car importers that kind of money. Oh my God. All right. So I'm going to try to follow up with him today. I will do that. Gibbets, that's what they're called. Thank you, Alfred. Shaka says Crocs are the worst looking footwear since platform shoes. I would prefer to wear a pair of Cayman Wampas before wearing those glorified clogs called Crocs. Let me find one pair to show you that they're not all bad. Hold on. Let me see if I can find, I have some in my shoe collection and people are always like, oh, those look so comfortable. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a pair that don't look too bad. Not all of them look like that, I must tell you. Okay. Crocs. Oh God, look like they got all the ugly ones on Amazon for real. Oh Lord. I have not those. I'm still looking. I'll have to take a picture. Oh, here's some. I mean, these don't look that bad. Tell me the truth now. Okay, hold on. And they come in different colors. So I do have the brown. I think I have a blue and another color. And they're actually pretty comfortable. All right. Tell me if you think these are ugly. Is it me? They're not ugly, right? They don't look bad on. You're like, girl, please. Like Marlon say, you be wearing granny shoes. I have like 3 or 4 pairs of these just in different colors. Speaking of shoes, I also need to filter out some shoes because I've run out of shoe space again. I mean, here's another one. This is like a lighter brown. Ooh, I like this brown color. Could I possibly need another brown? They've got them in green and white. I should get the whites. I should get the white color. See, Marjorie likes, I like them too. And they are really comfortable. Like for real, for real, for real. See, they got the lighter color. I kind of like this light color too. I have this one already. I'm thinking there are times that I could use this one. I got blue, I got black. And then some of the Crocs come with little sparkly things in them. You know, they're not that bad. But you know what? For kids, they're easy because you can wash them easily. You throw them in a bucket of water, scrub them out. You know, yeah, they're kind of easy. Ooh, they've got that same one. Oh, this is a different brand. This is Reef. The Reef shoe has similar styles to this one. So, okay. Let me go back and get to doing some paperwork. I have got to sort my stuff, do paperwork, submit that application, follow up with this Gemini car guy. Plumber replied. So that's one thing I can check off my list. He's going to pop by today. So I can get that done. I love those shoes. See? Thank you. Thank you for validating that they don't look that bad. Davian Wright being sued again over car situation. Good. That's what y'all need to do. You need people like him. You need to start suing him. Here's another one. Scamming money. Let's see if I can chat with him. Good morning. All right, let me see. All no. All right, so this person says, this guy, good morning. This guy basically scammed my money, blocked me, and not answering my call or messages. Lord have mercy. Ay. All right. Messaging him now. And low key, today's Friday, so I feel like going to breakfast with somebody who has nothing else to do. He says, I don't owe you. Yeah, I know you need it. What the heck? Okay. Wade Martinez. Oh, Lord. This is from the start when we first met. In need of a transmission. The old one has been taken out already. They sent a bunch of pictures of him flossing all over the place with his woman. Good evening. So basically this guy scammed me my money, blocked me, not answering my calls. If you need any more information, and I always say send the proof. Of course I need information. And then we got chat logs. I want going come for the money, man, because I can't find none. And bro, you tell you these messages. None, bro, you to tell you the truth, and it gonna be a lot of work. I wanted something SUIN, something that can move now. YK, you know, I understand, bro. Yeah, fam, sorry about that too. I will come into town now. So LMK, where we can meet. Okay, LMK, let me know. I let me shout you in a few so we could link for that then, bro. All right, cool. I got something B. I got somewhere B too. So LMK ASAP. Don't mean to rush you or anything, but I in town now, and when I leave, I not coming back. So I was waiting on you, man. Yo, bro, one thing I don't do is go around people. Yours. What, go around people? What? Why you HS? Yours? This why I don't like giving money unless shit in my hands, bro. I don't want to get upset, G. Just do the right thing, yo. What the deal is, bro? Yo, I had just pull up at your father yard then cause this crazy. All you gotta do is communicate G and LMK what the deal is. You can't tell me you not see none of my calls or texts. If you don't have the money, just say that, brother. You pushing this far, yo. Yo, bro, you literally ignoring me. Your phone that died once. Every message I sent you went through. And then you can start to see him getting, the conversation gets elevated where he's obviously getting upset. Every call I call, it ring. You have a fucking Wi-Fi, bro. Okay. And then he shows how many times you call him, brother. So wait, you not planning to give me back my money? All right, be there shortly. This is the start when I want to meet him. The transmission, Tegra transmission, it won't work, boy. Okay, Wade Martinez. What a hot mess. Just reading these is a lesson in hot messes. All right, Wade Martinez. Anybody knows a Wade Martinez? Basically telling me a joke, but let's watch and see. Oh, let's listen to this voice note. Shall we listen to a voice note?
Wait, he just answered me back. He just messaged me and he said, he's gonna meet up with me, or he's gonna tell me where to meet up to get the money. I'll send you the screenshot now. So I'll just watch him today and see what happens.
So then he ghosted him. He not hear nothing more from Wade. Wade Martinez, step up, brother. Step up to the front of the class. Buenos dias. Good morning. How? Oh, you got good news for me? Tell me. Okay, good. Did you hear what happened to the Benz last night? Oh my God. Parked at home because I had to drive the other car to try and bring Marlon to you. Somebody backed up in the car. Yeah. The front. It don't look too bad. So Marlon took it in today. So hopefully I'll get some good news that it really not that much that has to be done. But I don't know how you back into park. I'm like, Cayman Roads, you can't even be home safely. That is crazy. So do you want, but I'm hoping maybe just something that can buff out, but do you want me to, what were you going to do with that car now? Okay. You want to bring it to me at the house? You can come that far? Oh. VIP service. Big shout out to the Audi guys. Listen, bring it to the house because he already has my car in town. I guess he'll get that later on today. Do a little drive out. I'll send you directions. All right, cool. Okay, hon. All right, bang. Yes, that works out better actually, because then I don't have to Driving to town again right now. Marjorie likes them. Those are Granny Crocs, says Marshall. Miss Marjorie, not Marge-Lee, wants a pair in size 7. You didn't buy those in Cape Man? No. I bought those at the Croc store in Miami. Shaka Zulu having a good laugh. Big shout out to Audi this morning. So I'm going to tell you guys about my experience with them. Great company. They have the new GAC cars, the Chinese vehicles. Listen, go check them out, man. They're full of features. You will be pleasantly surprised by what you get for your money. Good value, lots of nice features, and a 5-year warranty. Can't beat it. So we're getting one delivered today. Mr. Arley. I'm going to give him the house address. Off. Okay, going to ping him my address and he should be good to go. All right. Yeah. I feel like what I need to figure out this guy's name. What's your name? Okay, so this guy messaged, he responded, Mr. Martinez. So let's see now if we can't get him to pay this guy his money back. Please don't call me live. I have too much people around now. I want to discuss this off air. Are you able to? Yeah. You just got to pay the woman her money. Like, I'm trying to give y'all a chance here. Yes, I sent her a voice note this morning. I'm not sure if you know the full story, but whatever you find the time. Okay. You see, I don't want no kind of mix up story now, because this is kind of like, there's too many moving pieces to this. Alex, from you mentioned the $100, he's going to know who you talking about, because clearly he take it for joke. Okay. Martinez. All right. So I'm working on 2 people simultaneously trying to get people money back. All right. Let me work on that while I do other stuff. And we'll touch bases. We'll be back on Monday. Thank you, Miss Sue. She says, I love my Crocs. Comfortable for our feet, Sandy. Yeah, because, we getting up in age now, so we need comfortable shoes. I see also walking 6-inch heels. I'm like, good luck to you. Enjoy it while you can, because one day you'll be loving yourself a Croc. Or what's the other ones that I love? I love Crocs for comfort. I have oh Lord, not Timberlands. What's the other shoe that I get a lot of? They kind of old people shoes still. Oh darn it. They're very traditional looking. I can't remember the name of them now. I can't remember. I feel like I should go show you my shoe collection. Maybe not. Oh man. Oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I hate long mix-up stories, When people call me and start getting this me, and this and that and this, I'm like, look here. You either owe the people the money. Clarks! That's it, Lilith. Good girl. You got it. Love me a Clark. That's right, girl. You feel me, right? I used to do naturalizers way more than I do now, but I haven't been in a naturalizer store in a long time. They have a really big one, or they used to, in Sawgrass Mills. I haven't been to Sawgrass in a while because Dolphin is big enough, child. I don't need to walk a mall that's like 50 miles long. I have a similar car issue, and if they don't come through, I am coming to you, Sandy. Girl, these people are ridiculous. Yes, let me know. But yeah, I love Clarks. They're very, very comfortable. You make us jealous. I'm gonna pull out some shoes of my shoes to get rid of as well, to donate. So Corrine says, I hate Crocs, but I love Clarks. Okay. I feel you. I feel you there. Marlon says they're all ugly. He's like, those are old people shoes. Oh my God. What the hell? Y'all see these crazy drivers in Jamaica? This man stand up talking, and I don't know if he's being interviewed, but geez, peace. Lord have mercy. 7:20 p.m. on Thursday, yesterday. Heavy rains from Nosa? Hold on, I gotta show you guys this. Now, we think we got some bad drivers in Cayman. Wow. Let me just show you how bad it gets elsewhere. I mean, we know we got enough of them here driving like this too, like a bat out of hell. But look at this. By the way, a parent yesterday, who's also a teacher, asked me to please remind you drivers to respect school buses. When you see a school bus stop, to please stop. She said her son almost got ran down by a car that didn't stop. And there's sometimes like a little blind spot when they're walking in front of the school bus. Can y'all please stop it? Almost killed a woman child. Margie, I feel you. All about comfort. So she said, can you please mention it on your show? And I'm like, we need a constant PSA for y'all to learn how to drive. All right, I'm going to download this video. Give me a second. It's 85%. Yes, love me some Clarks. Mm-hmm. Yep. Make the story short. Are you saying you owe her no money? Because me not got no time for no long talking. You understand? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Papi. All right. Okay, I think the video is done. Okay, look at this video. This is crazy. I just saw this come up in my thing. Oh my God, look, yeah.
It was like the scene from a high-drama action movie. This is the moment our videographer saved this interviewee, Aaron McCain, from serious injuries. The driver of the truck, visibly angry, proceeded to inspect the red motor car.
What really happened? I come and him turn up the side, I can't go through. That's it. I can't go through. And the roller did it so. I can't lick the roller. Alright, I have to come out by the road to lick him down.
He was coming on speed and I was here already. And I tried to give him signal to slow down. And he didn't slow down with the same speed. He come and hit me up.
Man, you stop. You can't stop. You can't stop. I slide the truck, I slide. Yeah, the roller, man, you go lick up in here now. To the bigger, yeah, the bigger unit, fast. Can't man can't lick up in that.
When I was here already, from all the way from there.
Ironically, this is the same issue Aaron McCain was speaking about before the crash. Due to a massive pileup of debris along the Broadgate Main Road in St. Mary after yesterday's heavy rain, driving on the road has become hazardous and drivers have been impatient.
No traffic couldn't pass and the whole place they throw off with the water and the tree head and coming down, the vehicle them are come down. Always stop them to stop. Some of them don't want to stop. They want just work through at all time.
But while it appears that some motorists threw caution to the wind along the Broadgate Main Road, at the Baxter's Mountain Primary School, the students and staff were not taking any chances with the forces of nature. Scores of students were trapped at school for over 7 hours as they wait for the flood waters to recede at this ford.
In the afternoon, there about 12 o'clock, we realized that the rain was continuing, and so we decided to end school early, as we usually do.
No, man. The man did not stop. Did you guys see that? Wow. He didn't slow down. He didn't stop. And then he has a nerve to get out the car being upset. I'm just like, what? What am I missing here? This is ridiculous. This is when you're wrong, but you just can't give yourself wrong. OMG. That's so crazy. All right, let's get to work. Oh my goodness, that's wild. All right, folks, that video just blew me away. That truck man should have slowed down. Hell yeah. He should have been crawling, not speeding through traffic. Oh my God. Aliano says, I'm going to say that the original Crocs are ugly. They made a good design slip on that I like, but they don't make them no more. You got to, they change up all the time. So you got to keep going and having a look because they come out with new designs and new stuff all the time. And there is a Crocs store here now. Did you know that? Would definitely promote Clarks before Crocs, says Shaka. Love me some Clarks, plus the pedigree of the British Army boots, so would prefer to promote Brits before promoting the Dutch pedigree design. Crocs are by a Dutch company? I didn't know that. They're Dutch? Oh, that's news to me. But you'd rather promote the Brits than the Dutch? Meh. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't promoting either one of them, but I do like the shoes. But where that man that get that accent, he sound Haitian. I was thinking he sounds Haitian or African. I'm not quite sure which one, but that definitely wasn't a Jamaican. But I mean, maybe he's Jamaican now. He might have status. I don't know. But boy.
It was like the scene from a high drama action movie. This is the moment our videographer saved this interview.
No, sir. No, man. That's next level. Yes, Marjorie, there's a Crocs store on West Bay Road. I forget the name of the plaza, but it is across from Caribbean Club, that plaza that's over there. So you can go over there and check it out. They got a whole inventory, and they're, like I said, they're always changing stuff up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning, ma'am. You still on the air?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to call and talk to you off air. Okay, I'll call back. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm about to wrap up now. All right, dear. All right. All right, honey child. Gots to go. Y'all have a beautiful weekend. Go look at some Crocs. Oh, Crocs are derivative of the Dutch clog. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's not seven. No. No, there's a place in 7 Mile Shops that sells them, but there's actually a Crocs store. Is that called Caribbean Plaza? Yes, there's a Crocs store that sells nothing but Crocs. So go check him out. Thank you, Miss Corrine. She says the Caribbean Plaza Crocs store. Yeah, go check that out. Yep. And then a few other people have them in smaller selections and stuff like that. But they have nothing but Crocs, and they get all the latest, models, styles, whatever. All right, folks, have a beautiful weekend. Please be safe. See you guys on Monday morning, God's willing. Toodaloo.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.